Some legends are not born, they awaken. Long before stars learned to burn, before Saiyans carved their violence into the skin of history, the cosmos murmured of a child whose heartbeat would one day echo louder than entire galaxies. A child whose rage could make creation tremble, yet whose compassion could steady the trembling of universes. It was said that when this soul opened its eyes for the first time, the universe would hold its breath, not in fear, but in recognition. For there exists a power older than destruction, older than the gods who govern it, a power that sleeps only in one warrior across millennia, a power that does not choose lightly. On the day Kakarot shattered his pod and fell toward Earth, the prophecy tilted. Destiny realigned itself around a tiny ship streaking through the void, carrying a child whose smile would one day terrify the divine. The legendary Super Saiyan was never meant to be a monster, only a mirror reflecting what a mortal heart becomes when pushed past its final limit. And in this timeline, that mirror belongs to Goku. Before we step deeper into this alternate destiny into a truth the canon never dared to imagine, remember to join this journey with us, so our timelines may never fade into silence, and these legends may continue to breathe in the spaces between your heartbeats. There were moments, even in his earliest days on Earth, when the forest itself seemed to lean toward the small boy with the wild hair, as if listening for something hidden beneath his breath. Goku never understood why animals stayed near him longer than they did around other humans, why storms broke strangely around Mount Paozu, splitting like curtains around the tiny house where he slept. It all felt natural to him, like the world simply moved at a rhythm he had already learned by instinct. Yet in quiet moments, when he sat at the river and let the cold water rush over his hands, he sensed something else, something older, something sleeping. It stirred when he felt joy. It quivered when he felt pain. It roared when he felt fear. But Goku was a child, and children rarely fear the things that make them extraordinary. Grandpa Gohan saw it first not as danger, but as a storm cloud waiting for a horizon. "You feel too deeply, my boy," he once whispered while bandaging Goku's scraped knees. "When you're happy, the world glows. When you're angry," he didn't finish the sentence. But Goku remembered the way the old man's breath hitched, as if remembering flames through time. The boy didn't know the truth. Not yet, but the universe did. And somewhere beyond the veil of mortal sight, the dormant energy inside him pulsed like a heartbeat from another era, ancient, heavy, royal in its violence. The first time it surfaced was not in battle, but in fear. Goku had been exploring the deeper caverns of Mount Paozu, chasing the echo of dripping water. A shadow moved where it shouldn't have. Something long, black, and alive, a serpent larger than any he had seen, rose from the darkness, its fangs glistening with cold venom. The cave shook as its body coiled, preparing to strike. For a moment, the world inside Goku froze. Then it cracked. The air trembled. Pebbles lifted from the ground. A faint glow, pale gold and unearthly, lit the cave walls. The serpent hesitated. Goku didn't understand what happened next. He simply moved, faster than he ever had, guided not by instinct but by a deeper hunger, something inside him wanting to protect, to destroy, to unleash. He struck with a force that made the cavern shudder, and the serpent crashed into stone, defeated in an instant. When it was over, the golden glow faded like a memory forgotten too soon. Goku blinked at his hands. They felt warm, alive, humming with something that didn't belong to a child. But he smiled anyway. He was proud of himself. He told Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan went quiet. In that silence, destiny shifted. Just a fraction. Just enough. Years passed. Goku grew strong, cheerful, unburdened. He made friends who saw only the light in him. Bulma, Krillin, Master Roshi. They trained together, laughed together, shaped their lives around tournaments and dreams. But beneath every victory, Goku claimed, there was something else, whispers in his blood, shadows flickering behind his eyes during his fiercest fights. Roshi noticed. Tan felt it. Even Piccolo, on the day they fought as rivals, sensed a fearlessness in Goku that bordered on predatory, something primal in the way he met violence with almost serene enthusiasm. Still, nobody understood what slept beneath the surface. Not until Raditz came. That day, the sky over Kame House darkened under the weight of destiny, and Goku's peaceful life cracked like thin glass. The Saiyan warrior descended not as a brother, but as a messenger of inevitability, wearing a smirk carved from the cold stone of their shared lineage. "Kakarot," Raditz said, voice dripping with disdain, "did you really believe you could hide from what you are?" Goku felt something in his chest constrict. The name felt wrong, heavy, jagged, like a blade pressed against an old scar. The air grew tight around him, like the pressure before a storm. Krillin backed away as a faint vibration rippled through the sand beneath their feet. Raditz stepped closer, eyes narrowing. You were born with a power no Saiyan has held in 1,000 years. A power they feared. A power the kings tried to erase. He leaned in, smirking. Did you never wonder why your pod was sent away? Goku's breath hitched. His heartbeat thundered. Deep inside him, something ancient exhaled. A pulse of golden ki flickered across his skin so faint it vanished as quickly as it appeared. But Raditz saw it, and for the first time, the smugness faltered in his eyes. Goku didn't know why, but in that moment, Raditz looked afraid. The wind stilled. The sea quieted. The legend stirred, and the earth itself seemed to brace for what this truth would awaken inside him. The fear in Raditz's eyes was gone a heartbeat later, swallowed by arrogance, but Goku had seen it. The image lodged itself in his chest like a splinter. Why would someone so powerful, so dismissive, flinch at a flicker of light he himself barely understood? Pathetic, Raditz muttered, forcing a sneer back onto his face. Even now, your body remembers what it was meant to become. And yet here you are, playing house on some backwater rock. Goku clenched his fists. He shouldn't have been rattled. He had faced monsters, demons, armies. He had died once already. But this felt different. Raditz didn't just threaten his life. He threatened to rewrite who Goku was. You're wrong, Goku said, his voice low. This planet isn't backwater. These people, they're my family, my friends. This is my home. Home. Raditz spat the word as if it tasted bad. You were never meant for home. You were born for conquest, for domination. You were born to be the storm that ends worlds. The universe shivered at the truth of it. Goku's jaw tightened. Behind him, Krillin shifted nervously, and Master Roshi's eyes were fixed not on Raditz, but on the subtle aura barely dancing around Goku's shoulders, a shimmer at the edge of sight that looked almost golden whenever Goku's anger spiked. Gohan, still just a child, clutched the side of Goku's leg, peeking out with wide, frightened eyes. His small hands trembled, yet there was a strange familiarity in the way he stared at his father, like somewhere deep inside. He recognized that same sleeping storm. Raditz's scouter beeped rapidly, struggling to quantify the shifting tides of power in front of him. Your battle power is fluctuating, he said slowly, watching the numbers spike and drop, refusing to stabilize. I've never seen readings like this. It's as if your energy is resisting the measurement. Goku didn't care about numbers. He only cared about the rising heat in his veins, the growing clarity that came with his anger. It was not the wild, blinding rage of beasts. It was cleaner, sharper, like the edge of a blade being honed by grief and love at the same time. Raditz shifted his gaze past Goku and settled on Gohan. And what's this? He murmured. Another Saiyan. No, his power. It spikes like yours. He chuckled cruelly. How amusing. The bloodline persists. The world tilted. Before Goku could react, Raditz moved. One moment Gohan was by his side. The next, the boy was screaming in Raditz's grasp, clutched under an armored arm as the Saiyan warrior launched into the sky. Goku's heart snapped. Time slowed to a crawl. He heard Gohan's cry, stretched and distorted by the distance, the sound tearing through him like lightning through dry wood. The ocean roared below, but compared to the storm inside Goku's chest, it was silence. Stop, Goku shouted, voice echoing across the waves. His ki surged in response. The water beneath his feet split for a second, as if pushed away by an invisible force. Sand whipped up in spirals, spinning around him like dust drawn into orbit. The faint golden shimmer along his aura thickened, threads of light wrapping around his body. Roshi shielded his eyes. Krillin stumbled backward, feeling the air turn heavy as if gravity had doubled in an instant. Raditz paused midair, just long enough to smirk back over his shoulder. If you want the boy, Kakarot, come take him. Bring your strongest. Maybe then you'll wake up to what you really are. In a burst of speed, he vanished over the horizon, leaving behind only the echo of Gohan's terrified voice. Silence fell, but it wasn't peaceful. It was the silence before a planet splits. Goku's breathing came shallow at first, then steadied, each inhale dragging golden embers through his veins. His hands shook not with fear, but with something more dangerous. Rage, not the simple anger of a man whose child was taken. The rage of a being whose very nature had been forged in war, whose bloodline carried the weight of an ancient power designed to dominate entire star systems. The anger of a heart that loved too deeply to accept such cruelty. Piccolo arrived shortly after, drawn not only by Raditz's presence, but by something else, an oppressive, wild key pressing against the edges of his senses. When he landed and saw Goku, his eyes narrowed. This energy, Piccolo muttered under his breath. It's him. But, no, it's something beyond him. Goku turned, and for a brief moment, Piccolo saw it gold flickering behind his eyes like distant suns. I'm going after him, Goku said, voice steady but low, like a quiet volcano. I don't care what he is. I don't care who I used to be. Gohan is my son. Piccolo smirked despite himself. You'll die alone. Then come with me. The Namekian blinked. He had expected defiance, not an invitation. But something in Goku's tone, something heavy, nearly regal, told him this was not a mere request. It was a call to witness whatever Goku was about to become. The fight against Raditz unfolded like a grim ritual. Goku and Piccolo, unlikely allies, stood shoulder to shoulder beneath the shadow of a brother who represented everything Goku's blood demanded he be, and everything his heart refused to become. Blows were exchanged at speeds that shredded the sky. Shockwaves tore up the landscape, carving new scars into the earth. But beneath every impact, Goku felt it. His power was not rising in a clean, linear arc. It surged in uneven waves, leaping to impossible heights whenever his emotions spiked. When Raditz mocked his compassion, his ki thundered. When Gohan screamed from the pod where he was trapped, the golden shimmer returned, lightning tracing itself along Goku's muscles. Why won't you accept it? Raditz snarled, blocking a flurry of blows. This is what you were born for. This is what you are. Goku gritted his teeth. What I am is Gohan's father. Raditz drove a knee into his gut, hurling him across the battlefield. Goku crashed into a cliffside. Stone shattered, dust billowing like smoke from a burning world. For a few seconds, he lay still, eyes closed, listening to the relentless pounding of his own heartbeat. Each beat felt ancient. Each breath felt borrowed. Images flickered in his mind, planets burning. Saiyan warriors screaming in battle, a figure wreathed in golden energy towering above them all like a living catastrophe. A legend, a curse. He saw himself in that light. He rejected it. The light did not care. The aura around him exploded outward. Piccolo staggered. Raditz's scouter shrieked in alarm, numbers climbing, then breaking, shattering its screen in a burst of static. The dust cleared. Goku stood in the crater, not transformed, but changed. His hair was still black, yet it moved as if underwater, pulled by unseen tides. His eyes had hardened, their softness tempered by something vast and unyielding. The ground beneath his feet cracked in spiderweb patterns. Every part of the universe that still remembered the legendary Super Saiyan flinched. Raditz took an involuntary step back. What are you doing? He whispered. Goku looked up slowly, and the quiet fury in his gaze was more terrifying than any roar. I'm choosing, he said. And the air itself waited to see which destiny he would claim. Raditz circled in the sky like a predator, forced to reconsider the size of its prey. The shattered remains of his scouter sparked at his temple, its lens crushed by readings that no Saiyan technology could comprehend. Goku's aura was raw, ancient, quivering, luminous in a way that felt less like ki and more like memory. A pressure radiated from him that made even Piccolo grimace, as if gravity had doubled only around the man standing in that crater. You shouldn't be able to summon this, Raditz said quietly, voice stripped of mockery for the first time. You were a low-class warrior, a castaway. The power sleeping inside you, it belongs to kings. Goku rose into the air without effort, dust lifting around him like drifting stardust. He didn't glow gold. He didn't scream. His energy simply expanded, soundless and steady, like a star resuming a pulse it had forgotten. His hair shook softly in the strange wind of his own aura. Piccolo swallowed. He hated fear, but in that moment, he felt something bordering on reverence. Goku's gaze fixed on Raditz. You're done running, he said. Let Gohan go. Raditz bared his teeth, not in confidence, but in desperation. This is madness. Whatever you're tapping into, that power destroyed our ancestors. It drove them insane. It turned them into monsters. Goku frowned. If it's inside me, then I'll master it. You will not, Raditz snapped. No Saiyan has ever controlled it. Goku didn't answer with words. he vanished. It wasn't flight, it wasn't speed. It was displacement, an instinctive movement that broke distance with the smallest flick of will. Raditz barely raised his arm before Goku's fist collided with his jaw, sending him spiraling through the clouds. Piccolo launched after them, but even he couldn't keep up with the pattern of Goku's movements. They were wild, unpredictable, untamed but not blind, guided by emotion, sharpened by purpose. Raditz crashed into a plateau, kicking up a storm of shattered stone. As he rose, dazed and furious, Goku landed behind him, silent as moonlight. Raditz spun, firing a barrage of ki blasts. The sky crackled with explosions, each shockwave flattening the nearby landscape. Dust and smoke swallowed the battlefield, but through the haze, Goku walked. Each blast struck him, yet his aura flexed, bending the attacks around him like water curling around stone. His silhouette advanced slowly, each step deliberate, shoulders squared. Raditz's breath caught. Legends were stories told in whispers among Saiyan elites of a warrior whose rage and purity fused into a cataclysmic power, a being who devoured armies and shattered moons. A warrior born once every 1,000 years. Raditz had always dismissed them as fairy tales meant to keep soldiers obedient. But now, that legend was approaching him. "Stay away," Raditz shouted, stumbling backward. Goku blurred again, appearing right in front of him. His hand clamped around Raditz's wrist with such controlled force that the older Saiyan winced in agony. "I won't warn you again," Goku said. His voice was steady, but something beneath it thrummed with power like a storm holding its breath. "Where is Gohan?" Raditz tried to smirk, but fear pulled the expression crooked. "You're still too sentimental. That softness will be your ruin." Goku's eyes narrowed. "Softness doesn't make me weak. It always does," Raditz hissed. "It's why you're a failure. It's why you were sent here. They feared what you might become, so they cast you out." Goku froze. Memories he never lived flashed behind his eyes. Ghosts of a world he didn't know. Voices echoing from blood he barely recognized. Tears, anger, love, confusion all tangled inside him, pulling threads of his spirit taut. And in the space between one heartbeat and the next, Gohan screamed again, raw, terrified, helpless. Goku's aura ruptured outward. This time, the golden shimmer did not vanish. It flared, streaking through the air like chains snapping open. Raditz was hurled backward, tumbling across stone, but Goku didn't chase him. He stood trembling, fingers curling and uncurling as he fought the rising flood inside him. Piccolo appeared beside him, breathing heavily. "What is this?" Piccolo muttered. "You're not transforming, but something is waking up." Goku didn't answer. He was staring at his own hands, watching small arcs of gold flicker between his fingers like tiny suns yearning to ignite. "I feel like," Goku whispered, voice barely audible, "I'm remembering something that never happened." Raditz pulled himself to his feet, panting. His armor was cracked, and his hair hung wild around his face. He looked less like a warrior now, and more like a man cornered by fate itself. "You can't control it," Raditz said. "You think this power is yours. It will devour you. It will take everything you love." Goku lifted his gaze. "And if I use it to save them first?" Raditz's eyes widened. Then Gohan's voice rang out again, louder, closer, bursting from the small space pod where he had been locked. It rattled with the force of his cries. In that instant, the last thread of Goku's restraint snapped. His aura surged, spiraling skyward in a torrent of gold and white light. The ocean recoiled. The earth vibrated. Piccolo shielded his face as debris shot upward like meteors rising instead of falling. Raditz whispered only one word. "No." Goku vanished into light, and reality bent around the path he carved toward his son. The pod imprisoning Gohan hurtled through the air as if possessed by panic itself, bouncing across stone and shattering through boulders until it landed half-buried at the base of a ravine. Raditz had launched it earlier to keep the child out of reach, but he had underestimated the force of Gohan's terror that now echoed like thunder in Goku's soul, calling him with a clarity stronger than instinct. Goku appeared above the ravine in a blinding flash of movement. The air around him twisted, swirling in a cyclone of gold and white. His aura no longer flickered. It pulsed ancient, rhythmic, like a second heartbeat beating against the fabric of the world. "Gohan," he called, the sound rolling across the rocks like the roar of a rising tide. The pod shook violently from within, dents bulging outward from tiny fists, fueled by raw, untrained ki. Gohan's cry punched through the air, sharp enough to crack the surface of the pod's window. Goku descended, and the moment his feet touched the ground, the earth cratered beneath him. Dust whipped outward in a ring, clearing the ravine of debris in an instant. He ripped the pod door free. Inside, Gohan was curled in fear, tears streaking down his cheeks. But when his wide eyes met his father's, something in them shifted. His trembling stopped. His breathing steadied. As if some part of him recognized the golden hum vibrating around, Goku recognized it as safety, as home. Goku's voice softened. "I'm here, Gohan. I've got you." He gently lifted the boy into his arms. The aura dimmed just slightly, as if responding to the tenderness in Goku's chest. For a heartbeat, the world was still. Then Raditz descended like a falling meteor, slamming into the ravine with a roar of fury. His armor sparked, his pride shredded, his fear hiding behind rage. "You dare defy me," Raditz bellowed. "You think this power makes you invincible. You're losing control, Kakarot. Your mind is slipping. I can smell it. That glow in your eyes, it isn't you." Goku handed Gohan to Piccolo, who had followed just behind, silent but alert. "Get him away from here," Goku said. Piccolo hesitated, not because he feared for Gohan, but because he feared leaving Goku with Raditz. The air tasted wrong. Goku's presence prickled against his senses like static before lightning strikes. "Are you sure?" Piccolo murmured. "Yes." Piccolo nodded and moved, Gohan clinging to his neck. The boy looked back, tears glistening, watching his father's hair ripple in a wind that wasn't blowing. Goku stepped forward. Raditz snarled, energy crackling around him. "You are a Saiyan, my brother. You belong to the warrior race. Our destiny is written in conquest, in blood, in fear." Goku's aura deepened, swirling like a golden vortex. "My destiny," Goku said slowly, "isn't something you get to decide." Raditz charged. The world blurred. Their clash split the ravine floor in two, stone erupting upward as their fists collided. Raditz screamed, pouring every ounce of strength he had into overpowering Goku. But Goku didn't budge. His expression barely changed. He seemed to be fighting effortlessly, no wasted motion, no calculation. Just pure instinct, frighteningly precise. Raditz's punch glanced Goku's cheek. The air detonated from the impact, but the moment Raditz's knuckles connected, Goku's head snapped back into place almost instantly, his eyes burning with quiet fury. In those eyes, Raditz saw galaxies imploding, ancient wars, the echo of something Saiyan kings had feared for generations. "No," Raditz breathed. "Not you. Not this." Goku struck him once. Just one blow. A palm thrust to the chest, delivered with a gentleness that made it even more horrifying. The impact hurled Raditz through 3 stone pillars and into the far wall of the ravine, which caved inward from the sheer force. His scream was swallowed by the collapsing rock. Dust billowed. Stones tumbled. Goku didn't move. When Raditz emerged, staggering, bleeding, terrified, he no longer looked like the proud warrior who had arrived. He looked like a man standing in the shadow of something divine. "You're becoming it," Raditz whispered hoarsely. "The thing our people swore to bury. The reason you were exiled. You're awakening." Goku's fingers trembled. The golden aura writhed chaotically, rising and falling as his emotions clashed within him. Pain for his son, fury at his brother, fear of the thing inside him, love for his family, hatred of hurting anyone. The contradictions tore at his spirit, feeding the ancient engine in his blood. Raditz suddenly thrust 2 fingers forward, ki gathering violently at their tips. "If I can't control you," he snarled, "I'll put you down before the monster awakens." The beam fired blinding, lethal, screaming through the air toward Goku. Goku didn't dodge, he caught it. His hand closed around the beam like it was water, golden energy, devouring Raditz's attack in seconds. The ravine lit up with white and gold as the technique dissolved into sparks that swirled harmlessly around Goku's fingers. Raditz froze. Goku looked up, eyes burning with a light that didn't belong to this era. "Enough." The word struck harder than any punch. Raditz took a step back, then another. Goku advanced, the ground cracking beneath each step. And deep within the core of his being, a roar he had never released before pressed against his throat, growing, demanding, begging to turn the world gold. The roar building inside Goku wasn't sound. Not yet. It was pressure, an immense, ancient force compressing itself inside the narrow cage of a mortal body. A burning star trying to breathe through human lungs. The ground trembled beneath his feet as he walked, and for the first time in his life, Goku truly felt afraid of himself. Raditz sensed that fear and mistook it for weakness. Good. Raditz hissed, stumbling into a fighting stance. You're scared. You should be. That power inside you, it's poison. It breaks the mind. It broke our ancestors. It will break you. Goku shook his head slowly. No, he said. What breaks us is choosing violence without purpose. Raditz snarled. Spoken like a coward. No, Goku repeated softly. Spoken like a father. The wind howled through the ravine as Raditz lunged, ki bursting from his palms. Goku didn't block. He didn't evade. He moved with a terrifying natural ease, his body swaying just out of range, as if guided by a rhythm only he could hear. Raditz struck with ferocity born of desperation, kicks that tore trenches in the earth, punches that detonated shockwaves through the air. Goku weaved through all of it, each motion a whisper, each counterstrike a sentence of quiet inevitability. You're not even fighting, Raditz shouted, panic creeping into his voice. I am, Goku said, just not the way you want. Raditz's fist flew toward Goku's jaw. This time, Goku caught it midair. The impact sent cracks spidering through the ground beneath them. Raditz trembled, muscles straining, trying to pull free. Goku held him effortlessly. This ends now, Goku said. Raditz roared, unleashing a burst of ki that lit the ravine with violent red light. The explosion engulfed them both, shaking the mountains, sending dust clouds billowing for miles. For a moment, everything was swallowed in flame and smoke. Then the smoke parted. Goku stood untouched. Raditz stared. Impossible, you should be. Goku's aura erupted, tendrils of gold swirling around him like ethereal flames. His hair remained black, but each strand glowed faintly, as if illuminated from within. His eyes shone with molten intensity, two burning suns that made Raditz's blood run cold. Raditz, Goku said, stepping forward, I won't let you take my son. Raditz stumbled backward. Don't come closer. You came here expecting me to obey, Goku continued, expecting me to follow you. But you don't know me. You don't know who I am. Earth raised me, not planet Vegeta. My strength doesn't come from blood. His aura sharpened, pulsing like a heartbeat. It comes from the people I love. Raditz screamed and fired another blast. Goku flicked his wrist. The beam exploded harmlessly against the golden pressure surrounding him. No, Raditz choked, voice cracking. No, 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 this isn't real. You can't be. Goku vanished. He appeared behind Raditz with a gust of displaced air. Raditz spun, barely blocking Goku's elbow. The impact launched him skyward, smashing him through a cluster of boulders. Goku followed, his movement effortless, unreal, almost serene. Raditz tried to retreat into the clouds. Goku appeared above him. A downward kick sent Raditz plummeting back to the ravine floor, carving a crater big enough to engulf a house. Dust plumed upward in a choking wave. Raditz lay inside it, gasping, armor shattered, spirit broken. Goku descended slowly, feet touching the ground with the gentleness of falling petals. Raditz coughed once, blood dripping from his lips. This is why they feared you, he whispered, voice trembling. The elders. The royal bloodlines. The clan that whispered of the berserker. They feared the prophecy. They feared a child like you. Goku said nothing. Raditz's eyes widened with a mixture of awe and horror. The legendary Super Saiyan. A warrior born once every 1,000 years. A being of infinite wrath, unstoppable, uncontrollable. Goku's aura dimmed slightly, as if recoiling from the word wrath. Raditz's head fell back against the crushed earth. You were sent away because they sensed it in you, he rasped. Even as an infant, they felt it. Silence fell. Piccolo, watching from a ledge above, felt the weight of the revelation press down on him like stone. The ravine itself seemed to hold its breath. Goku lowered his gaze. The golden aura flickered, destabilizing as emotions wrestled inside him: fear, disbelief, anger, grief. I don't want to be a monster, Goku whispered. Raditz laughed weakly. You already are. The words struck like blades. Goku closed his eyes. The golden storm around him guttered, then surged back with renewed ferocity, as if reacting to his pain. You're wrong, Goku said. His eyes opened, burning fiercely, beautifully. I decide what I become. Raditz tried to rise. You think you can choose fate? Foolish. You can't escape what's inside you. Goku stepped closer, shadow falling over him. I'm not trying to escape it, he said. and trying to understand it. Raditz's lips parted in shock. Goku's aura rose higher, spiraling into the sky like a beacon challenging the heavens. And somewhere far beyond Earth, in a temple untouched by mortal time, a god opened his eyes suddenly, drawn by a pulse of ki that felt like history rewriting itself. Goku didn't notice. His focus was locked on Raditz, on the truth, on the line between destiny and identity, and on the roar still climbing his throat, demanding release. The journey to Namek began not with hope, but with a silence thick enough to feel in the bones. After Raditz's defeat, after the revelation that rewrote the shape of his identity, Goku found himself living on the edge of a precipice only he could sense. Even as he trained, even as he prepared to face enemies stronger than anything Earth had ever known, he felt the golden storm inside him whispering through every heartbeat. King Kai sensed it the moment Goku arrived on his small planet. "You're heavier than before," King Kai said, adjusting his glasses as if weight made its way through light years. "Not your body, your spirit." Goku offered a small smile, but behind it was unease. "I feel different. Different," King Kai repeated, tapping his forehead. "Or awakening." Goku didn't answer. He couldn't. Every punch he threw made the air bend. Every kick created echoes that hung too long in the atmosphere. The training meant to prepare him for the Saiyans now felt too small, too fragile, like forcing a star to live in a lantern. King Kai watched him in growing concern. "Goku," he said one day, "this power stirring inside you, it's ancient. Older than your race. Older, even, than this quadrant of the universe." Goku froze mid-motion. "Do you know what it is?" "I don't," King Kai admitted. "But the gods, they whisper of it." Goku's heart tightened. He thought of Gohan, of Chi-Chi's gentle smile, of Piccolo's stern guidance, of a world he loved with a simplicity the cosmos would never understand. "I don't want to become something that scares them," he said softly. King Kai stared at him with surprising gentleness. "Then become something that protects them." Goku lowered his gaze, unsure whether the path ahead allowed such a choice. The days passed. The Saiyans were defeated. Vegeta fled into the void with his pride bleeding. Earth mourned and recovered, but Namek awaited. The planet felt strange the moment Goku touched down upon its blue-grassed soil, empty yet alive, quiet yet humming with ancient grief. The sky stretched wide and pale like a memory of hope. The water shimmered with the reflection of 3 suns. It felt peaceful, fragile, sacred. And in that sacredness, Goku felt the storm inside him hesitate, as if even the legendary wrath respected Namek's stillness. Meanwhile, Vegeta raged across the planet, driven by pride and humiliation. Zarbon hunted him. Dodoria stalked the Namekians. And Frieza sat upon his floating throne with a smile sharp enough to carve galaxies. He sought immortality, power, perfection. But he did not know that destiny had set another storm on a collision course with him. Goku tore across space in his gravity pod for 6 long days. Training, awakening, breaking and rebuilding himself with each breath. And through it all, visions haunted him. Not dreams, memories, but memories that were not his. Golden energy consuming armies. Worlds shaking beneath a warrior's step. Eyes burning like twin suns in a face twisted with unrestrained fury. A voice he could never make out the words roaring across the ages. On the 6th day, he punched the air so hard the ship itself groaned, alarms blaring. He collapsed to one knee. His breath came ragged. His hair lifted as if underwater. A faint glow traced his silhouette, as if his body were trying to remember a shape it had once known. "Not now," he whispered, gripping the floor. "Not like this. Not yet." When Goku arrived on Namek, the planet felt the shift. Even the wind paused. The water rippled subtly as he stepped onto solid ground. This was the calm before a storm the universe had not seen in 1,000 years. Goku moved quickly, searching for Krillin, Gohan, and the remnants of Namek's people. Yet every step he took only worsened the unease building within him. Frieza's cruelty was everywhere, villages reduced to smoking ruins. Namekian bodies left beneath pale skies, the Dragon Ball stolen and corrupted by greed. His fists tightened, his vision blurred for a heartbeat, the golden aura flickered. He steadied himself. Not here. Not yet. Then he sensed it, Krillin's ki, spiking in agony, wrapped in fear. Gohan's ki, burning with stubborn courage. And Vegeta's ki, trembling with humiliation and rage. But beneath all of them, deeper than any mortal sign of life, Goku sensed something else. A darkness so cold it felt like a void with a name. Frieza. Goku inhaled, slow and sharp, and the storm inside him smiled. He sprinted across Namek's fields faster than his pod could have recorded. The landscape blurred, streaks of blue and green sweeping past him. At the center of a shattered village, he saw Krillin lifted by the throat, gasping, Frieza's taloned fingers digging into his skin. Gohan charged desperately toward them. Vegeta lay slumped nearby, half broken and breathing in ragged wheezes. Goku landed between Frieza and his friends. The air crackled. The world paused. Even Frieza blinked, taken off guard by the sudden materialization of a warrior whose power made the air itself feel heavier. Frieza tilted his head, amused. And who might you be? Goku didn't answer. His aura rippled subtle, beautiful, terrifying. He lifted his head, shadows falling away from his eyes. They glowed, faint gold, alive, awakening. Krillin felt it first pure, breathtaking awe. Gohan felt it warmth like sunlight, but edged with thunder. Vegeta felt it, and for the first time in years, his breath caught in his throat. Frieza felt nothing, and that would be his undoing. Goku stepped forward once, and the planet itself tensed. The sky above the shattered Namekian village held its breath. Frieza's fingers loosened slightly around Krillin's throat, not out of mercy, but out of curiosity. He could feel the newcomer's presence like an unexpected change in the weather, subtle but unsettling, as if reality itself had shifted by a fraction of a degree. Goku's eyes moved once, slowly, taking in every detail. Krillin's bruised face, Gohan's trembling fists, Vegeta's broken pride bleeding into the dust, the silent bodies of Namekians, fallen in the shadows of their own homes. A quiet burned in his chest. Not numbness, not shock, something sharper. Put him down, Goku said. His voice did not rise. It did not thunder. Yet every syllable sank into the air with the weight of a command, as if spoken by something older than they were. Frieza smiled lazily. You're bold for someone I've never heard of. Are you another Namekian? No, your look is different. Saiyan, perhaps? Goku's jaw tightened, but he kept his gaze steady. I won't ask again, Frieza chuckled. Oh, how delightful. You Saiyans always did have a flair for dramatics. Vegeta was the same. So proud. So loud. He tilted his head. I broke him, too. Vegeta flinched minutely at the words, eyes darting toward Goku. He wanted to scoff, to spit some caustic dismissal, but he couldn't. That aura, that presence, it was wrong. It was beyond. Krillin clawed weakly at Frieza's grip, his vision dimming around the edges. Goku's hands trembled at his sides, not from fear, but from restraint. Each second stretched, taut as a bowstring. Inside him, the storm pressed against his veins, eager. Frieza's smirk widened. Your friend doesn't have long, Frieza said lightly. If you're going to entertain me, I suggest you start now. The storm inside, Goku roared. His aura flared, invisible yet undeniable, a pressure that forced the air to thicken. The grass around his feet bent away from him. Pebbles lifted, defying gravity. Gohan sucked in a breath, feeling his father's ki swell like a rising tide. Goku vanished. One moment he stood before Frieza. The next, he stood behind him. Krillin fell, gasping, hitting the ground as Goku's hand hovered an inch from Frieza's throat. Frieza didn't even see the movement. He only felt the breeze left in its wake. He turned slowly. How rude, Frieza said, voice no longer amused, but edged. I dislike being touched without permission. I didn't touch you, Goku replied. Yet, Krillin coughed violently. Gohan ran to him, tears in his eyes. Dad, Gohan whispered. Hess is stronger than anything we've fought. Be careful. Goku didn't look back, but his voice softened. That's why I'm here. Vegeta pushed himself up onto one elbow, eyes locked on Goku's back. He had seen power. He had stared into the face of death more times than he could count. But this was different. This was not just strength. It was inevitability. The first exchange came without warning. Frieza moved, a flick of his wrist sending a lance of energy straight toward Goku's heart. Goku tilted his body just enough for it to pass, the beam screaming by his ribs and detonating against a distant cliff. The explosion lit the sky in a cascade of light and ash. Frieza's eyes narrowed. Goku didn't counter. He didn't rush. He watched. Frieza attacked again, faster. A flurry of strikes, each one precise and deadly. Goku wove through them, movements impossibly calm. His feet barely touched the ground. His aura remained close to his skin, shimmering faintly like heat above desert sand. "What's wrong?" Goku asked quietly between motions. "I thought you were stronger than this." Frieza's tail lashed in irritation. "You're mocking me," he said. "I'm measuring you." The words pierced Frieza's pride like needles. With an enraged snarl, Frieza thrust both hands forward, unleashing a torrent of ki that engulfed the battlefield in blinding light. The ground beneath them disintegrated, stone vaporized. Shockwaves raced across Namek's surface, disturbing distant seas. Krillin and Gohan were thrown back, only barely shielded by Vegeta, who dragged himself in front of them with a growl of effort. "Are you insane?" Vegeta spat, watching the inferno. "Hell, wipe us all out." But as the light faded, a figure remained in the center of the crater. Goku. Dust swirled around him. His clothes were torn, but his body stood unbroken. His hair lifted in the silent turbulence of his own energy, and his eyes burned brighter. Vegeta's breath hitched. Krillin stared. Gohan whispered, "Dad." Frieza's smile had vanished. "You're still standing," Frieza said slowly. Goku tilted his head. That was impressive. For someone who destroys planets from a distance. The insult sank into Frieza's bones. For the first time in a very long time, something like unease crawled up his spine. He forced a calm laugh. "You Saiyans and your arrogance." Vegeta was just the same. "But power without control is meaningless. You're flaring wildly, you know. Your energy spikes and dips. Whatever you are, you're unstable." Goku's expression flickered because Frieza was right. Underneath his steady movements, Goku could feel it the churning inside, the storm pressing harder. Pushed by every injustice around him. The slaughtered Namekians. The Dragon Balls stolen, his friends brutalized. Each emotion was like a log thrown into a fire that had slept for 1,000 years. "Maybe," Goku admitted, "but I can still beat you." Frieza's lip curled. "You think you're close to my full power." "No," Goku said. His aura pulsed, deeper, richer, heavy with something older than either of them. "I think him close to mine." The words felt like a crack in the sky. Vegeta's heart pounded. He had chased the legend his entire life. He had wanted, more than anything, to be the Saiyan who transcended the limits, who shattered the ceiling of his race's strength. But now, watching Goku, he knew. The legend had chosen someone else. Goku stepped forward. Frieza raised his hand once more, a deadly smirk returning to his face. But it was thinner now. Strained. Before either could move, the ground shook violently. A distant surge of ki erupted the Dragon Balls, being used. The sky darkened as Purunga's colossal form rose far away, unseen but deeply felt. A cosmic presence rippled across Namek, making the very air vibrate. Frieza's eyes widened. "They're using the Dragon Balls without me." He glanced away, just for a heartbeat. Goku felt the storm inside him surge at the distraction, urging him forward. This was the moment. The first thread in Destiny's tapestry. Ready to snap. Frieza's attention snapped toward the distant horizon, where the Dragon Balls pulsed with divine resonance. Porunga's silhouette enormous, serpentine, impossible rose like a cosmic tower against the sky, bathing Namek in otherworldly shadow. Even from miles away, the very idea of the wish being granted rippled through the air. Goku felt that ripple swirl through him like a change in tide. Frieza felt it like betrayal. "They dare," Frieza whispered, voice trembling with fury. "They dare make a wish without me." His aura crackled, violet and violent, shredding the ground at his feet. Pebbles rose and disintegrated in the sheer pressure. His tail lashed like a whip. The casual cruelty was gone. In its place burned a primal terror of losing control, of losing power. Goku stepped forward calmly. "It's too late, Frieza." Frieza turned slowly, his eyes narrowed to slits. "Too late for them, perhaps. But for you? Oh, I haven't even begun." He extended 2 fingers. Before Goku could react, Frieza fired a beam not at him, but at Krillin. The beam struck the ground where Krillin stood, erupting in a violent plume of smoke and shattered stone. Gohan screamed. Vegeta cursed, diving aside. Dust swallowed everything. Goku's heart clenched. The storm inside him jerked awake. No thought, only motion. He lunged forward, energy crackling violently around him, raw, unfiltered, ancient. His aura expanded in a violent halo. cracking the earth beneath him. He reached the explosion site before the dust settled. Krillin was alive, barely saved by a half-formed shield of his own ki. But it wasn't the near death that undid Goku. It was the fear in Krillin's eyes. Fear of dying. Fear of Frieza. Fear that Goku had been too late. Something in Goku's chest broke. A fracture. A whisper of gold. Frieza laughed from above, floating like a demon with starlight at his back. Your weakness disgusts me. You protect these insects. You cling to them. You break yourself for them. Goku rose slowly, his aura trembling. Not unstable awakening. They're my friends, Goku said softly. Frieza rolled his eyes. Pathetic. They're my family. Repulsive. Goku looked up. His eyes glowed brighter, no longer flicker, but a steady burn, gold bleeding into black. A warning. Frieza didn't heed it. He fired again. This time at Gohan. Gohan froze, terror pinning him to the earth. Vegeta was too wounded. Krillin too weak. Piccolo too far. There was no one between Gohan and death. Except, Goku appeared in front of Gohan, back turned, hand raised. The blast struck Goku's palm. It bent. It flattened. It died. Silently. Gohan stared, tears streaking down his face. Dad. Goku didn't look back. His voice was low, trembling not with fear, but with something hotter. Gohan, stay behind me. Frieza's smirk faltered. Goku lowered his hand. You hurt my friends, he said. The wind shrieked as his aura spiked. You tried to kill my son. The ground cracked beneath him. And you destroyed these people's home. Light bled from his skin. The air shook. The horizon wavered. Frieza took a half step back. What are you doing? He hissed. Goku didn't hear him. He was hearing something else, a rising hum in his own heartbeat, an echo of a roar across centuries, a stirring in the marrow of his bones. The storm inside him pushed upward, begging for release. He fought it. Not yet. Not yet. He stepped toward Frieza. Each step shook the sky. Gohan felt it like an ocean wave. Vegeta felt it like a nightmare turning real. Krillin felt it like hope sharp enough to cut. Frieza felt it like the universe itself was leaning away from this one man. Why aren't you afraid of me? Frieza demanded. I am, Goku said, but not enough to let you hurt anyone else. Frieza snarled and dove toward him, aura blazing. Their fists collided. The shockwave erupted outward like a comet exploding, sending ripples across Namek's fields. Water leaped from its lakes. Clouds tore apart, mountains cracked. Both warriors skidded back in the air. Neither had expected the other to stand so firm. Frieza wiped a bead of blood from his lip. Goku exhaled slowly, steam rising from his skin. Let's finish this away from the village, he said. Frieza sneered. I choose the battlefield. Monkey. Goku vanished. Frieza barely had time to register the movement before a fist slammed into his jaw, sending him hurtling across the sky like a falling star. Goku turned to Gohan. Take Krillin. Find Bulma. Stay safe. Gohan nodded, tears in his eyes. Dad, be careful. Goku offered a faint smile. I will. He launched into the sky, leaving behind a trail of trembling air. Far ahead, Frieza recovered, his aura flaring violet with fury as he ascended into the heavens above Namek. Their battle was no longer a fight. It was gravity pulling two catastrophic forces toward each other, destiny tightening its grip. And somewhere deep inside Goku's soul, golden power clawed its way upward, hungry for daylight. The sky above Namek darkened as Goku and Frieza ascended, their auras carving contrails through the thinning clouds. Below them, the ocean shimmered with the trembling reflection of two rising storms, one violet, one a flickering gold that refused to fully ignite. Frieza slowed first, hovering over an uninhabited stretch of sea. The water beneath him swirled upward in spirals, pulled by sheer pressure. His smile returned, thin and sharp. This will do, he said, a fitting grave for a Saiyan who doesn't know his place. Goku arrived a heartbeat later, landing on the open air as if standing on invisible stone. The breeze brushed against his skin, carrying with it the distant scent of burning villages. He clenched his fist. Frieza observed the gesture, misinterpreting it as fear. How quaint, Frieza purred. You shake. Do you sense it? The futility. You're strong, stronger than Vegeta. Stronger than any Saiyan I've met. He leaned forward, eyes narrowing. But you are not legendary. Goku's eyes flickered gold. Maybe not, Goku said. But I don't need to be a legend to stop you. Frieza's grin widened. Well, see. He moved. A violet comet streaked across the sky, descending upon Goku with devastating speed. The first strike detonated the air, sending waves rippling across the ocean. The second blow fractured the very sound around them, turning shockwaves into thunder. Frieza attacked with precision, every movement lethal, every strike designed to dismember. Goku blocked the first two blows, dodged the third, parried the fourth barely. The fifth slammed into his gut. His breath escaped in a harsh gasp. For a moment, the world snapped sideways, the horizon bending around the force of the impact. Goku spiraled through the air before righting himself, boots skidding across nothingness. His ribs ached, his lungs burned, and the storm inside him surged. Not enough to break free, just enough to demand release. Frieza's voice slithered into the momentary quiet. What's the matter? I expected more. Vegeta believed you were the one foretold by some ancient fairy tale. He scoffed. As if any of you could ever touch me. Goku steadied his breath. You talk too much, he said. Frieza's eyes narrowed. And you listened too little. He appeared behind Goku. His elbow crashed into Goku's spine. Goku's body jolted. Pain shot down his limbs. The blow launched him downward in a spiraling arc straight toward the ocean. The water parted beneath him as he crashed into it with enough force to send plumes of white foam and steam skyward. Shockwaves churned the depths. Frieza hovered above the boiling sea, watching the turbulence with satisfaction. Saiyan filth, he murmured. It's always the same. Pride, anger, a taste of power. Then, he snapped his fingers. Extinction. The ocean erupted. A column of water burst skyward, split in half by a glowing silhouette rising from the depths. Steam drifted off Goku's body in ghostly wisps, carried upward on the rising temperature of his aura. His breathing was heavy, pained but steady. Gold shimmered across his skin with every exhale. You're strong, Goku said, but you're not unbeatable. Frieza laughed. You're delusional. Goku blurred. Their clash ignited the sky. Punches faster than sound rippled through the air. Energy burst in fragmented waves that shattered clouds. The ocean beneath them roiled like a living thing, pulled upward in great spirals by gravitational distortions. Every impact lit the sky with white-blue or gold-violet sparks. Frieza was fast, lightning-sharp, cruelly precise. Goku was instinctive fluid, adaptive, each strike guided by emotion and clarity. The balance between them swayed with every exchange. Frieza landed a kick to Goku's jaw. Goku answered with an elbow that fractured Frieza's cheekbone. Frieza roared and unleashed a barrage of death beams. Goku weaved through them, some grazing his skin, each graze awakening more of the storm inside him. Vegeta, watching from the ruins far below, felt his stomach twist. Hes fighting evenly with Frieza, Vegeta whispered. But something's wrong. Kakarot's power is rising too quickly, too violently. Gohan trembled beside him. Is Dad okay? Vegeta didn't answer, because he didn't know. Back in the sky, Goku's vision sharpened unnaturally. Colors deepened, the world slowed. His heartbeat thundered like war drums. His fist struck Frieza's jaw with a force that cracked the tyrant's armor. Frieza skidded backward, clutching his face. His expression twisted, not with pain, but disbelief and outrage. You impudent ape. He thrust both hands forward, drawing power from the depths of his monstrous core. The sky flashed purple. A swirling sphere of annihilation bloomed between his palms. The death ball. As large as a mountain, as heavy as the hatred that shaped it. Frieza hurled it downward. The sphere fell toward Goku, a miniature star forged of malice and destruction. Goku braced himself, aura blazing. The storm inside him surged, wild, golden, unstoppable. His eyes widened. His heart roared. His body shook as if something inside him were breaking, splitting open, demanding release. He thrust his hands forward. The death ball collided with him. Light engulfed the world. The ocean evaporated beneath their feet. The sky cracked with cataclysmic thunder. The shockwave raced across Namek, tearing forests from their roots. Goku screamed not in pain, but in struggle. Gold lit his veins. His aura exploded outward. His hair began to shimmer, each strand flickering between black and molten gold. Frieza stared, horrified. Impossible, what are you? And for the first time, Goku felt the storm inside him open its eyes. The death ball pressed against Goku's palms with the weight of a falling star. His feet slid backward across the air, the space beneath him tearing in ripples of distorted light. His muscles screamed as the heat seared up his arms, peeling open the limits of his mortal form. But something else, something older rose to meet it. Goku's aura convulsed, molten gold bleeding outward in furious waves. Lightning crackled around him, not blue like a normal power surge, but a flickering gold-white, as if each bolt were a memory of a sun he had never seen. The death ball pushed harder. Goku pushed back. Frieza watched, floating above the struggle, a twisted sneer carving into his face. "You're strong, Saiyan," he called over the roar of colliding energy. "But you are not what the legends feared. If you were, you would have transformed already." Goku's teeth clenched. The sphere pressed closer, burning into his chest. He felt his ribs crack, felt his arms tremble, felt the storm inside him roar with savage insistence. Let it out. Let it burn. Become what you are. "No," Goku whispered through clenched teeth. "Not like this." He saw the Namekian corpses in the distance. He saw Gohan's terrified face. He saw Krillin struggling to breathe. He saw Vegeta staring upward as if witnessing a prophecy unravel. And behind those images, he saw something else. A flicker of memory. A warrior drowning worlds in golden fire. A legend that walked like a catastrophe. A power that loved nothing, spared nothing, understood nothing. Goku's breath hitched. Fear sliced through him, not of Frieza's attack, but of himself. "I won't be that," he growled. His aura flared violently, rejecting the instinct clawing at his soul. Frieza snarled as the death ball wavered. "Why resist it? That power, whatever sleeps in your bones, could crush me. You feel it, don't you? You want it. You crave it." "That's not true," Goku shouted. The death ball inched upward, forced back by his will alone. "You're wrong." Frieza's eyes narrowed. "Am I?" He flicked 2 fingers. Another surge of power flooded the death ball, doubling its size, doubling the heat. It roared downward with renewed fury, swallowing Goku in a flood of violet light. The ocean vanished beneath the explosion. The air turned to fire. Namek's horizon warped like molten glass, Gohan screamed. Krillin shielded his eyes. Vegeta staggered backward, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. For a terrible moment, it looked as though the light had consumed everything. Everything. Then, a shockwave detonated outward, so sudden and violent it flattened islands and cracked the crust beneath the sea. A burst of gold. Pure gold. The death ball blew apart in a cascade of white light. Frieza's eyes went wide. No, no. From the heart of the explosion, a figure rose. Silhouetted in gold, wrapped in light, every inch of him trembling with cascading ki. Goku. His hair wasn't fully golden, not yet, but every strand glowed like smoldering embers ready to ignite. His aura stretched outward in sunlit tendrils, swirling around him like living flame. The glow cast reflections across Frieza's terrified eyes. Goku inhaled, the air shuddered. Frieza hovered back involuntarily, tail stiff with fear. "Impossible. Your power, it's climbing beyond reason." Goku didn't respond. He only lifted his head. His eyes had changed. Completely, they were gold. Brilliant, molten, ancient. The eyes of a warrior waking from a 1,000-year slumber. The storm inside him no longer whispered. It growled, impatient, ravenous, demanding release. Goku forced it back with visible effort, his entire body trembling as he tried to contain what was now fully awake. "Frieza," Goku said softly. Frieza stilled. "You need to stop." Frieza's teeth ground together. "No, I refuse." He launched forward, shrieking in rage. But Goku was already there. His fist met Frieza's stomach with a sound like the world cracking open. Frieza folded over the blow, ki erupting from his mouth in a violent burst of energy. The tyrant flew backward, tumbling through the sky in wild arcs before careening into a massive stone spire, shattering it on impact. Goku didn't chase. He hovered, chest heaving, aura still blazing gold. Inside him, the legendary wrath clawed at the walls of his restraint. His vision blurred, not from weakness, but from the weight of a power too vast for mortal nerves to contain. His heart hammered. His blood sang. His bones felt as though they were expanding, reshaping. He grabbed his head, groaning. The gold flickered dangerously, brightening with every second. "Not now," Goku gasped. "Not like this. I have to stay myself." But for every inch of control he gained, the storm took a mile. His aura surged again, snapping lightning across the sky. Far below, Vegeta's eyes widened in awe and horror. Hess becoming it, Vegeta whispered. Hess actually becoming the one from the legend. But Goku wasn't rejoicing. He was fighting for his soul. Frieza rose from the rubble, shaking, eyes bloodshot with hatred. You, miserable monkey. He charged again, ready to push Goku to the brink, ready to awaken the monster hidden inside him. And this time, the storm inside Goku roared back. Death should have claimed Goku that day on Namek. The storm should have swallowed him whole. But destiny, terrified, trembling, awestruck, refused to let him go. His return to Earth was a blur woven of broken memory and fractured light. He did not remember how his body moved, only that it did. He did not recall landing, only waking in a bed too small to contain the weight of what he had become. For weeks after Namek, Goku felt as though he were drifting in a world made of thin paper. The colors were duller, the air quieter, food tasted muted. Conversations reached him as if through water. Every emotion he felt, joy, love, fear, stretched strangely across his chest, mixed with another presence, another rhythm, something hot and ancient, something golden, something awake. Chi sensed it first. Not with sight, never with sight, but with the way Goku held a cup too gently, as if afraid he might pulverize it. With the way he stepped through door frames as though worried he might break the house. With the way he stared at the sky at night, jaw tight, breath shallow, eyes reflecting two colors, black and gold. You're not sleeping, she whispered one night, lying beside him. Goku stared at the ceiling. I hear it. What? He hesitated. The power, like it's breathing. He swallowed, like it wants to wake up. Chi-Chi touched his cheek. You're home. You're safe. Home. Safe. Words meant to soothe. But inside him, the storm murmured in low, ancient tones. A predator pacing a cage. A god demanding purpose. A legacy stitched into his veins long before he knew the meaning of fighting. Gohan noticed it too when Goku hugged him too softly. When the air rippled around him if he laughed too hard. When his shadow would flicker with faint gold for reasons Goku couldn't control. Piccolo visited often, Vegeta visited more, both for different reasons. Piccolo watched Goku with quiet concern. Something in the Namekian's gaze softened whenever he sensed the turbulence inside Goku, as though recognizing a pain he could not name. Vegeta, on the other hand, circled Goku like a wolf studying a sleeping dragon. He would stand with arms crossed, scowling. Your power is fluctuating, Vegeta said one afternoon after Goku accidentally crushed a boulder simply by leaning on it, like an unstable star. Goku frowned, wiping dust from his hands. I'm trying to control it. Trying, Vegeta repeated mockingly, but beneath the mockery was fear. If the legend is real and you continue awakening, you will not control it. It will control you. Goku's eyes darkened. I won't let that happen. Vegeta stared at him for a long time. It's not about what you allow, Kakarot. Before Goku could reply, a tremor ran through his key familiar, sharp, icy. Tracking devices. Footsteps of doom, a warning that cut through the earth itself. The androids were coming. Goku felt it before Trunks even arrived. A shadow in the flow of time. A pressure building in the future, sliding toward him like a blade drawn across fate. He trained but differently. Not with joy, not with wonder, with fear. Fear not of the androids, fear of what would happen if the storm inside him broke free during the fight. Weeks passed, the day drew near, and then it struck. A pain so violent it ripped him out of the sky. He fell like a meteor, clutching his chest, lungs seizing, heart slamming against bone. The virus that Trunks foretold tore through him mercilessly, suffocating him in white-hot agony. He could not breathe. He could not speak. He could barely think. And yet, the storm inside him did not weaken. It rose. It clawed against his ribs, infuriated by his frailty, raging at the limits of flesh. Golden sparks danced across his skin as he thrashed, the virus and the awakening power fighting inside him like two gods wrestling for dominion. Piccolo caught him as he fell. Gohan cried out his name. Chi-Chi trembled as she tried to help him breathe. But Goku felt only the storm pounding, roaring, demanding to be unleashed. No, he gasped, choking on his own breath. Not now, not this stop. His aura erupted violently, throwing dust and debris into a spiraling vortex around him. Chi-Chi had to shield Gohan. Piccolo held Goku down with all his strength barely. Hold yourself together, Goku, Piccolo shouted. Don't let it take over. Goku screamed. Not from the virus, but from the pressure of a legendary power trying to burst free while his body failed. Vegeta watched from a distance, jaw clenched, face pale with horror. If he transforms now, Vegeta whispered. Hell, destroy everything. Goku writhed, vision fading. His heartbeat slowed. His breath ceased. His consciousness slipped into a cold void. Yet even as his life ebbed, the storm inside him lit the dark with gold. As if refusing to let him die, as if refusing to sleep again, darkness swallowed him. Not the gentle dark of sleep, but a crushing void, thick and heavy, pressing against his lungs, his bones, his thoughts. Goku drifted within it, suspended in a sea of nothing that tasted like metal and ash. There was no body to feel, no breath to hold, only awareness, hanging like a dim lantern in endless night. For a moment, he thought he had died. Then he heard it. A sound like distant thunder, like drums echoing from the spine of the universe, like a heartbeat too large to belong to any mortal being. Bottom, bottom, bottom. It wasn't his. It was older, deeper. A rhythm that had existed long before his pod crashed onto Earth. Where am I? Goku's voice did not echo. It simply existed, absorbed by the black. Something answered, not with words, with presence, a warmth pressed against the edges of his consciousness, not comforting but scorching. Gold seeped through the dark like light filtering through cracks in stone. Images flickered in front of him, worlds burning, stars breaking, Saiyan warriors kneeling, a silhouette standing above them all, blazing with golden fury. Goku felt its gaze turn toward him. The darkness remembered him. The power remembered him. The legend remembered him. Are you? Goku tried to speak, but the thought faltered. Are you me? The presence shuddered like a sleeping beast stirring. He saw glimpses, hands stained with light and blood, a roar that broke mountains, eyes empty of everything but the ecstasy of battle. Whole civilizations wiped clean like dust from glass. No voice answered. But the intent was clear. It was not him. It was what he could become, the legendary Super Saiyan. Not a title, not a form, a possibility. The golden presence surged closer, pressing against him, threading itself into his spirit like fire wrapping around kindling. It did not feel evil. It did not feel kind. It simply felt fast. Bottom, bottom, bottom. You kept me alive, Goku realized. Flashes of moments. The serpent in the cave. Raditz trembling at a flicker of light. Namek's sky tearing open. The death ball exploding in his hands. Each time, the same presence. The same rhythm. But if I let you out, Goku whispered in the dark, will I still be me? The answer came as a sharp surge of heat, almost impatient. Fight. Transform. Ascend. Obliterate the obstacle. Repeat. Goku flinched. He thought of Gohan's laughter, Krillin's jokes, Bulma's stubbornness, Chi-Chi scolding him for training too much, Master Roshi's quiet wisdom, Piccolo standing between him and death more times than he could count. He thought of Earth. He thought of love. I don't want a power that doesn't understand them, Goku said. The gold around him pulsed with irritation. The void shook. Bottom, bottom, bottom. The legendary impulse tried to swallow him whole, to pour itself into the center of his being and hollow him out. For a terrifying instant, he saw himself as a stranger, eyes blank, or a monstrous, tearing everything apart in the name of battle and destiny. He recoiled. No, he said. Listen to me. The darkness stilled. If you're part of me, Goku continued, voice gaining strength, then you follow my heart, my rules, my choices. You don't get to turn me into something that destroys what I want to protect. The golden pressure thrummed. Defiance. Resistance. Then, curiosity. As if no one had ever spoken to it like this before. You want to fight? Goku said. Fine. Well, fight. But not for conquest, not for fear. We fight to protect, to grow, to push past limits without losing who we are. The presence pressed closer, wrapping him in molten heat. It could easily devour him, he knew. It could crush his fragile, wool-like paper. But it didn't. Instead, that ancient heartbeat synchronized with his own. Bottom, bottom, bottom. For the first time, the golden power did not feel like a foreign invader. It felt like a second spine growing beneath his bones, a second sun rising behind his heart. Not harmony. Not yet. but a truce. Light broke through the dark. Goku gasped. His eyes flew open. Air flooded his lungs in a violent rush. His body convulsed against soft bedding. Sweat drenched his skin. His heart hammered desperately in his chest, chasing the echo of that ancient rhythm. He blinked up at a ceiling he recognized. Home. Cheech's face hovered above his, streaked with tears. Gohan leaned in beside her, eyes wide with sleepless worry. Piccolo stood by the door, arms crossed, aura calm but watchful. Trunks lingered near the window, gaze sharp and relieved. "You're awake," Chi-Chi choked, half sob, half laughter. "You idiot. You're awake." Goku tried to sit up and winced. His body was weak, muscles trembling from both the virus and the internal war he had just survived. "How long was I out?" he rasped. "Days," Piccolo said. "Long enough to make us think we'd lost you." Gohan clutched his father's arm. I thought. Goku managed a smile, tired but genuine. "I'm not going anywhere." But even as he said it, he felt it. The storm, quieter, but not gone. Sitting beneath his skin like a caged sun. No longer pushing violently, but waiting. Watching. "Your key," Trunks said softly. "It feels different." Goku glanced down. For just an instant, his hand glowed faintly gold. He closed his fingers into a fist. "I made a deal," he murmured. No one understood what he meant. Not yet. Outside, the shadows of the androids stretched toward their future clash. Inside Goku, the legendary Super Saiyan slept with one golden eye open. Goku recovered slowly. Not the kind of recovery he was used to, where broken bones knitted overnight and bruises faded like morning fog. This was slower, heavier, as if his body carried a second gravity inside it now. Every step felt measured. Every breath reminded him that something enormous was waiting beneath the surface, coiled like a serpent around his spine. But he trained anyway. He had to. The androids were coming, and Earth's future hung by threads thinner than hair. In the mountains beyond Mount Paozu, where the rivers carved deep scars into the stone, Goku trained alone, letting the cold air sharpen his mind. He struck the air with punches that created miniature shockwaves, but each shockwave felt hollow, held back. "Why won't you come out?" Goku murmured to the stillness. "Why only when I'm afraid or angry? Why not when I call you?" The wind gave no answer. The storm inside him flickered faintly. A spark, a warning, a reminder. It would not come when asked, only when needed, or when provoked. Goku closed his eyes, inhaled, and felt the faint hum of golden energy brush against his consciousness. It felt alive, thinking, evaluating him. "You're part of me," Goku whispered. "But you're not me." The golden hum pulsed once, almost offended. Goku sighed. "Yeah, I figured." A rustle sounded behind him. Goku turned. Piccolo approached across the ridge, cape fluttering in the wind. His expression was unreadable, but his aura carried quiet concern. "You're still unsteady," Piccolo said. Goku scratched the back of his head. "You can tell, huh?" Piccolo folded his arms. "Your key is strange, deep, heavy, like a planet trying to fit inside a human body. You're stronger than before, far stronger, but you're also unstable." Goku shook his head. "No, not unstable." He tapped his chest. "Conflicted." Piccolo raised a brow. "Meaning?" "It's like there are two of me," Goku said. "Not in a bad way, but not in a good way either." Piccolo stepped closer. "Goku, if that power takes over during the fight with the androids, I won't let it," Goku interrupted. "Are you sure?" Goku hesitated, and that hesitation said more than any words could. Piccolo exhaled through his nose, the closest he got to sighing. "Then we train. Harder than we have before. You need to learn how to exist with whatever that is inside you." Goku nodded. For days, they trained, sparring atop cliffs, dueling through forests, testing strength against restraint. Piccolo watched Goku carefully, adjusting his attacks not to match Goku's power, but to test his control. Every time Goku's aura flared too bright, Piccolo pushed him harder. Every time Goku's eyes flickered gold, Piccolo struck at the weak points in his stance, forcing him to recenter. "You're treating me like a bomb," Goku said once, panting. "You are," Piccolo said simply, "and you need to know how not to explode." Goku couldn't argue. The day Trunks returned, the air itself felt nervous. The future warrior landed in Capsule Corps courtyard, with urgency radiating from his aura. Goku sensed him from miles away and raced across the fields to meet him. Trunks bowed slightly. Goku, we need to talk. Goku smiled. You okay? Trunks hesitated, eyes scanning Goku the same way Vegeta had studying the flickers in his aura, the subtle distortions in the air around him. You're stronger, Trunks said quietly. A lot stronger. Goku nodded. Yeah, I had to be. But something else? Trunks stepped closer. It feels like there's someone else inside you. Goku blinked. So, you can sense it too. Trunks swallowed. It feels ancient, violent, like a god of war sleeping in your ki. Goku frowned. It's not bad, just loud. And if it wakes up? Trunks pressed. Goku didn't answer. The silence stretched between them. Finally, Trunks exhaled. The androids arrive tomorrow. If that power inside you chooses that moment to take over, Goku, our world could break. Goku's chest tightened. That's why I can't let it control me. Can you stop it? Trunks asked. Goku closed his eyes and heard it again. A golden heartbeat. A pulse older than Saiyan history. I don't know. The next morning arrived heavy with fate. Dust swirled across the desert where the Z fighters gathered, each warrior bracing for a battle no one fully understood. Krillin paced nervously. Tien stared toward the horizon with rigid focus. Yamcha cracked his knuckles. Piccolo stood still as stone. And Vegeta watched Goku, arms crossed, jaw tight, eyes burning. You're hiding something, Kakarot, Vegeta said. Goku didn't deny it. Yeah, something powerful. Yeah. Vegeta stepped closer, voice low. Something that isn't yours. Goku's breath hitched. Is it the legendary Super Saiyan? Vegeta asked, barely above a whisper. Is that what you are becoming? Goku met his gaze. Honest, afraid, resolute. I don't know, he said quietly. But I won't let it hurt anyone. Vegeta's fists clenched. Not from anger, from fear he would never voice aloud. Because if Goku became the thing from legend, no god, no celestial, no universe would ever be safe again. A sudden tremor split the air. Two powers snapped into existence. Cold, mechanical, merciless. They're here, Piccolo said. The androids had arrived, and deep inside Goku's soul, the golden storm, opened one eye. The desert wind died. Not gradually, violently, as if struck dead by the arrival of something monstrous and cold. The sunlight dimmed beneath a sudden pall of stillness. Sand no longer drifted. Even the gulls above the distant coastline veered away, crying out sharply as they fled. The androids had arrived. Piccolo felt their ki first, or rather, the absence of it. A cold vacuum in the shape of two figures moving with deliberate calm. Goku inhaled slowly, and the storm inside him trembled. Trunks had warned them. These enemies did not breathe, did not tire, did not fear. Their power did not flicker or pulse like living beings. It was constant, merciless, like steel forged into a furnace of hate. And as they approached, the golden hum inside Goku stirred uneasily, like a predator roused by a rival presence. Goku, Piccolo said quietly, are you ready? Goku nodded, though he felt far from ready. His body still carried the shadows of the virus. His spirit still carried the weight of the awakening within him. But he couldn't show hesitation. Not now. The two shapes emerged from the dust doctor. Garrow's android 19, porcelain white and smiling, and behind him, the reanimated shadow of Dr. Garrow himself, android 20, eyes cold and gleaming behind steel lenses. Android 19 clapped its hands together cheerfully, voice chirping like a child's toy. Son Goku, target identified. Goku's jaw tightened. Beside him, Yamcha whispered, this is creepier than Trunks described. Vegeta snorted. Creepier or not, they died the same. But even he could not hide the way his aura wavered at the edges. Android 20 stepped forward, adjusting his hat with a mechanical twitch. Your interference on Namek has complicated our plans. But no matter. We will dissect you after extraction. Piccolo stepped in front of Gohan, teeth grit. Over my dead body. Android 20 regarded him with clinical disinterest. That can be arranged, but our priority is son Goku. Goku stepped forward before anyone else could. Leave my friends out of this. Android 19 second sensors blinked. Hostile intent detected. Initiate combat. Goku exhaled and the storm inside him expanded. Every breath he took vibrated with a faint golden shimmer. The air around him hummed like a struck bell. The others felt the shift. Krillin stepping back, Tien's eyes widening, Trunks tightening his grip on his sword. Goku tried to smother it. He tried to bury the roar beneath restraint. But the androids radiated something wrong. Not ki, not life. A void that devoured warmth around it. A void that repulsed the golden presence within him. The storm recoiled, then surged forward violently, as though demanding he erase these abominations entirely. Not now, Goku begged internally. Please, not like this. Goku rushed toward Android 19. The battle began like an earthquake cleaving the desert. Their first clash sent shockwaves rolling across miles, kicking up geysers of sand that spiraled into the sky. Android 19 caught Goku's fist with a grin, mechanical joints whirring loudly. But the force behind Goku's punch drove the android backward, treads carving deep trenches in the earth. Goku pressed forward. Fast, precise, explosive, but with every strike, his aura flickered gold and white, lightning crackling along his arms. Piccolo's eyes widened. His body isn't recovered. Hes pushing too hard. No, Trunks said under his breath. That's something else. Hes fighting himself. And Trunks was right. Every punch Goku threw awakened a little more of the storm. Every kick sent sparks of gold trailing behind him. Every breath stoked the fire rising beneath his ribs. Android 19 analyzed the data with cheerful ignorance. Battle power escalating. Saiyan physiology unstable. Recommend rapid drain. Goku's chest tightened. He felt the virus lingering in the corners of his lungs, the remnants of weakness clawing at him. His heart hammered unevenly. His aura spat sparks. And then, Android 19 seized his wrist. A pull. A violent siphoning. Energy draining through Goku's arm as if his life force were being sucked straight from his veins. Goku gasped. His knees buckled. The storm inside him shrieked. Not in fear, in rage. The golden flicker in his aura exploded. For a moment, his hair flashed almost completely gold before sputtering back to black. Android 19 stumbled back. Internal systems blaring alarms. Warning. Unknown energy detected. Recharge compromised. Goku staggered, clutching his chest, breath ragged. The sudden spike of power had torn through his nerves like lightning. Piccolo vaulted toward him, but Vegeta grabbed his arm mid-motion. No, Vegeta said coldly. Let him fight. Hes not stable, Piccolo snapped. Vegeta's eyes locked on Goku. There was fear in them, but also hunger. This is what is becoming. I want to see it. Goku groaned, pushing himself upright. His vision wavered. The world blurred. He saw streaks of gold trailing from every movement he made. Enough. Goku whispered. Android 19 rushed forward, laugh bubbling from his speakers. Attempting recapture. Goku inhaled, and something in him snapped. His aura erupted in a violent, spiraling column of gold. The shockwave tore a canyon through the desert floor, lifting the android off its feet. Goku's eyes flashed bright gold as the storm inside him flexed its claws. Not the full transformation, not the legend, but a taste. A warning, a fraction of what slept within him. He struck Android 19 so hard the android's head snapped backward unnaturally, joints cracking from the impact. But Goku paid for it instantly. His heart lurched. His breath hitched. Pain shot through his chest like a knife. His knees buckled. Android 19 recovered quickly, bounding forward to finish him while he was down. But another burst of golden light erupted from Goku's body, uncontrolled, instinctive, feral, knocking the android back again in a violent blast. Goku collapsed to one knee, gasping, eyes flickering between black and gold. I can't control it, he breathed. Piccolo rushed toward him, but before he could reach Goku, a blinding blue-white aura erupted behind them. Vegeta stepped forward, eyes burning with fury and triumph. Kakarot, Vegeta said, his voice trembling with judgment, fear, and longing, you're losing control, and I refuse to let the legendary power go to a Saiyan who can't wield it. Vegeta pointed at the androids. Stand aside, and with a snarl that shattered the sky, Vegeta transformed. A pillar of gold shot into the heavens. Lightning ripped across the desert. Sand melted into glass. Vegeta ascended into a Super Saiyan, claiming the form Goku had feared he might lose himself within. Goku stared upward, heart pounding. And for the first time in his life, he wondered if the legend inside him would let him stay behind. The desert became an ocean of gold. Vegeta stood in its center, hair blazing like a torch held to the heavens, eyes carved into emerald fire, aura howling with violent triumph. Lightning danced around him in twisting arcs, each bolt cracking the sky, as if reality itself were applauding his ascent. The others shielded their faces, sand whipped past in burning sheets. The air tasted like metal and electricity. Piccolo's eyes widened. He did it. Vegeta, actually. Krillin finished the sentence with a whisper, became a Super Saiyan. Vegeta lifted his chin, letting the light trail down his arms like liquid flame. His voice rose above the storm, trembling with manic pride. Look well, Kakarot, Vegeta said. This is the true form of a Saiyan. Not that trembling, half-awakened monster inside you. This, pure power, pure will, pure superiority. Goku swallowed hard, because beneath Vegeta's pride lay another truth. Vegeta was afraid. Deeply, sharply, viscerally. He had watched Goku flicker with a power older than anything in Saiyan history. A power not earned, but inherited by fate. A power Vegeta could never reach through training or rage or ambition. So Vegeta seized the one path left to him, to surpass Goku before the legend inside Goku fully awakened. Vegeta pointed at Android 19, who was struggling to stand, joint servos grinding in confusion. You machine, Vegeta snarled. You threatened my kill. Unforgivable. Android 19 scanned Vegeta's reading, internal alarms shrieking. New power detected. Battle power. Battle power. The android's sensors glitched. Battle power. Immeasurable. Danger level maximum. Vegeta grinned wide enough to show teeth. Correct. He launched forward. The desert detonated. One moment, Android 19 stood frozen in analysis. The next, Vegeta appeared behind him, fist buried in the android's spine. The impact sent debris flying in every direction. The android's torso twisted grotesquely as Vegeta grabbed its head and slammed it into the ground, dragging it across the sand in a blazing golden streak. Android 19 scrabbled desperately, hands clawing at Vegeta's wrist, but Vegeta jerked it up into the sky like a ragdoll. Did you think you could drain my energy? Vegeta howled. Try it. He thrust the android's hand toward his chest. The hand clamped onto Vegeta's armor and began draining. For a split second. Then, Android 19 seconds, eyes widened. No. No data for this energy influx overload, Vegeta smirked. His aura surged. Too much for you. Android 19 seconds' body shook violently as golden energy flooded into its circuits, burning through its internal systems like wildfire. Sparks erupted from its joints. Its painted smile melted into a twisted, flickering grimace. Vegeta released it, letting the android fall. Before it hit the ground, Vegeta fired a single blast. The explosion painted the desert blue-white. When the light faded, Android 19 seconds' smoking head rolled across the sand, eyes flickering before going dark. Silence fell. Vegeta stood amidst the rubble, chest heaving with exhilaration and rage. Goku pushed himself up on trembling arms, the storm inside him flashing in jagged pulses. That was incredible, Goku said, breathless. Vegeta spun toward him, golden hair whipping like fire. Don't you dare praise me, Vegeta snapped. This isn't admiration I want from you, Kakarot. Not when you have that thing sleeping inside you. Goku's heartbeat stumbled. His aura stuttered. Vegeta. No. Vegeta pointed at him. Do you know why I trained until my bones cracked? Until my wounds went septic? Until my body nearly broke? Goku opened his mouth, but Vegeta cut him off with a snarl. Because I refuse to let some cosmic accident, some cursed, ancient bloodline choose you as the next king of Saiyans. The desert trembled. Vegeta's voice cracked with something rarer than rage. Fear. I will not be replaced by fate, he whispered. Goku stared at him, really stared. And beneath the gold, beneath the sweat, beneath the fury, he saw a man fighting a battle more painful than any android could offer. The battle to matter. I'm not trying to replace you, Goku said gently. Vegeta's laugh was hollow. You already have. He stepped closer, lowering his voice to a trembling growl. You're changing, Kakarot. But not like me, not like any Saiyan born in history. His eyes narrowed. You're turning into something else. Goku's blood chilled. Because Vegeta wasn't wrong. He felt it. Every hour, every breath, the golden consciousness watching him from inside. Waiting, judging, growing. Before Goku could answer, A scream tore through the air. The Z-fighters spun toward the sound. Yamcha collapsed, bleeding, lifeless, and standing over him, cold, mechanical, red-eyed, Android 20. Piccolo's aura exploded. Gohan cried out. Krillin stumbled backward, horrified. Vegeta snarled, golden sparks flying from his fists. But Goku felt the storm inside him ignite. Not fully, not yet, but enough. Enough to know that the legend was waking faster than he could stop it. And enough to know that he was running out of time. Long before Earth knew the meaning of Saiyan, before Namek learned the taste of Frieza's cruelty, before universes were sculpted by angels and judged by gods, something ancient slept beneath the fabric of destiny. And now, because of Son Goku, it began to stir. For the first time in centuries, deep inside a palace suspended above infinity, a god of destruction opened one eye. Beerus sat upright in his bed of cosmic silk, his expression sharpening like a blade drawn from centuries of quiet. His ears twitched, his tail stiffened. His pupils narrowed to slits of startled recognition. A tremor rippled through the divine realm. Whis, polishing his staff nearby, paused mid-motion. "Oh my," he murmured. "You felt that, Lord Beerus." Beerus exhaled slowly. That key, a chill passed over his destruction-born aura, should not exist. The tremor came again, not loud, not violent, but ancient, like a forgotten prophecy clearing its throat. Beerus swung his legs from the bed and stood. The air around him vibrated as reality adjusted to the presence of a god now fully awake. Whis smiled faintly, though a bead of curiosity flickered in his eyes. "Is it the one you dreamt about?" Beerus gave a slight nod. "The mortal wrapped in contradiction," he said. "The one with the power that bends destiny. The one whose wrath could," he stopped. He didn't like the next words. Whis finished them for him. Tone soft but weighty. "Rival even you." Beerus frowned. He hated being predictable. He hated being challenged. But most of all, he hated being denied sleep. He flicked his wrist. A portal opened, revealing stars swirling in distorted patterns, the cosmic echoes of a power that was never meant to rise again. Beerus hissed softly. "So it begins." Meanwhile, on Earth, everything was falling apart. Android 20 vanished into the mountains, fleeing with Yamcha's stolen life force. The Z-fighters gave chase, but the shadows between the cliffs were thick, twisting, deceptive. Doctor, Garo moved like a ghost through them, watching, calculating, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Goku followed last. His breath was ragged, his heartbeat uneven, his body still weakened by the virus. But inside him, the storm crackled violently. Gold pulsed through his bloodstream like molten lightning. Every footstep he took lit the air behind him in faint gleams of gold. Every exhale hummed with ancient impatience. "Calm down," Goku whispered to himself. "Not now. Not yet." The storm snarled back. Piccolo appeared beside him, eyes sharp. "You're losing control." Goku clenched his fists, knuckles whitening. "I know. Goku, if that thing inside you erupts before you're ready, you won't just kill the androids." Piccolo's voice dropped. "You might kill us." The words hit harder than any android strike. "I won't let that happen," Goku said. Piccolo's stare was unblinking. "You say that, but your ki says otherwise." Goku stopped walking. His aura wavered, shimmered, brightened. A thin ring of dust rose around his feet, swirling as if pulled by a gravitational force. Goku inhaled sharply, pushing the energy down. It resisted. A child refusing to sleep. A god refusing to kneel. Finally, the glow dimmed. Goku sagged forward, sweat dripping from his brow. Piccolo caught his arm. "You can't keep suppressing it. You need control." Goku shook his head. "I need time." "We don't have time," Piccolo replied. He was right, because the next moment, on the far side of the mountain, a scream split the sky. Tien. His ki plummeted. Goku bolted toward the sound, heart slamming in his chest. Vegeta and Trunks were already there when he arrived, standing over the fallen warrior. Tien was alive, barely, his chest rising shallowly. Blood stained the rocks beneath him. Android 20 hovered above them, face expressionless, hands still glowing with stolen ki. "You creatures are predictable," Juro said, adjusting his hat. "In your desperation to protect one another, you expose yourselves perfectly." Vegeta snarled. "You mechanical corpse." But Goku stepped forward, quiet, focused, something dangerous in his eyes. Android 20 seconds, sensors spun rapidly. Warning, reading fluctuation in target. Unstable energy signature detected. Goku lifted his head. Gold flickered across his skin, running like cracks of light beneath his flesh. You hurt my friends, Goku said softly. Android 20 seconds, internal alarms blared. That is your purpose, he replied. To be drained, broken, studied. Goku's aura pulsed. Once. Twice. Like the heartbeat of a sleeping god, Vegeta stepped back instinctively. Trunks swallowed hard. Piccolo whispered, Goku. Don't. But Goku walked forward anyway. Android 20 aimed both hands at him, beams charging. You will not awaken, Gira said. You were meant to die of that virus. You were not meant to. Goku vanished, reappeared in front of Jiro, and pressed 2 fingers against the android's chest. Android 20 froze. Impossible, he whispered. Goku's eyes glowed gold. I decide what I become. The air crackled. The storm inside him surged upward, and somewhere in space, Beerus clenched his fist. Because, for the first time, the mortal he had dreamt of was truly beginning to awaken. For an instant, the world seemed carved from stillness. Goku's fingers rested against the cold armor plating of Android 20 seconds. Chest gentle, almost tender. A touch so light it should have meant nothing. And yet the air around them bent inward, trembling at the point of contact. Dust lifted from the ground. Pebbles rose. The sky itself seemed to hold its breath. Android 20 did not understand the sensation. His sensors registered no key attack. No blast, no strike. Only a pressure he could not calculate. A presence he could not quantify. Error. Jiro muttered, mechanical voice glitching. Error. Energy signature unidentified. Warning. Unknown threat level. Goku exhaled. A thin ring of gold expanded from his chest, subtle, soundless, terrifying. The golden storm inside him pulsed once, eager. Goku suppressed it, barely. Vegeta stepped back, eyes widening. He had only felt a fraction of that energy, yet it felt like the universe itself had inhaled in fear. Trunks stared in awe. Piccolo steadied himself, jaw clenched. Android 20 hovered rigidly in Goku's grasp, unable to process what was happening. You attacked my friends, Goku said quietly. His voice was soft, too soft, the kind of softness that ruins mountains. Goku's hand suddenly tightened, not crushing the android, but tightening as if restraining something far more dangerous beneath his own skin. Golden light slithered along his forearm, wrapping around his muscles like molten chains. And you think you understand power, Goku whispered. Android 20 seconds eyes flickered, panic computation rising. Release me, he demanded. Your energy is irrelevant. Super Saiyan or not, you am not transforming. Goku interrupted. The desert fell silent. Vegeta blinked. What? He muttered. Goku stepped forward, pushing the android back through the air without any exertion visible in his movements. His aura rose and fell like a trembling heartbeat gold, flickering uncontrollably around him. I'm not a Super Saiyan right now, Goku repeated, voice low, steady. Android 20 seconds systems whirred in fear. Sensors scrambled, processors panicked. When I go Super Saiyan, Goku continued, it's cleaner. Android 20 seconds internal alarms shrieked. This energy, this presence does not match Saiyan physiology, the android sputtered. Identifying abnormality, identifying. He froze. Because Goku's aura flared. Not full, not unleashed, but raw, wild, ancient. A shockwave of gold cracked the rock beneath them, sending spiderweb fractures racing across the desert floor. The cliffside behind Goku crumbled under the pressure. Android 20 seconds, eyes widened. Impossible, he whispered. This is not Super Saiyan energy. This is something else. Goku closed his eyes briefly, fighting the storm clawing inside him. His breathing grew shallow. His fingers trembled. His pulse hammered in his ears. It's something I'm trying to control, Goku admitted. But you keep pushing. Android 20 jerked backward, terrified. Release me. Goku pulled him closer. No. The word alone shook the desert. Lightning of pure gold snapped across Goku's body, grounding itself into the sand with sizzling force. His hair fluttered violently, though no wind blew. His shadow lengthened unnaturally, flickering in shapes that did not match his outline, like something colossal was standing behind him in another world. Vegeta felt his stomach drop. This is the power from Namek. he whispered. But stronger. Piccolo clenched his fists. Goku, he warned, you're losing control. Goku's eyes opened. They were molten gold. Android 20 screamed. Goku thrust his palm against the android's chest, not firing a blast, but unleashing a controlled pulse of golden energy that detonated point blank. The shockwave hurled Android 20 clear across the desert, ripping up sand in a spiraling vortex. His mechanical body skidded hundreds of meters, carving a trench through the earth before smashing into a ridge with a thunderous crash. Silence. Goku staggered. The golden aura sputtered wildly. His vision blurred. His heartbeat thrashed like a trapped animal. He dropped to one knee, clutching his chest as the storm inside him clawed for release. Not yet, Goku gasped. I'm not ready. Gohan rushed toward him, but Piccolo threw an arm across the boy's chest, stopping him. Stay back, Piccolo shouted. Gohan trembled. Dad needs help. That isn't your father right now, Piccolo growled. Goku groaned. His aura brightened, flared, buckled. Vegeta swore under his breath. Hess going to transform. No, Trunks said. This isn't Super Saiyan. This is something I've never felt before. Android 20 rose from the wreckage in the distance, armor shattered, smoke rising from his joints, sparks flying wildly from his circuitry. Terror raw, absolute terror glowed in his artificial eyes. He turned and fled. Not tactically. Not strategically. Instinctively. Fleeing the way prey flees a natural predator. Retreat. Retreat. The subject is unstable. Power level, unknown, unquantifiable. He vanished into the canyon shadows, leaving a trail of broken metal and panic behind him. None of the fighters chased. They were all staring at Goku, at the way the very air bent around him, at the gold that flickered under his skin, at the way the dust lifted as if gravity itself were afraid to touch him. Goku gritted his teeth. I can't hold it. The storm surged. His aura erupted in a violent pillar, a beam of gold stabbing into the sky, splitting the clouds in half. The desert shook. The horizon blurred. The sun dimmed. Piccolo shouted, Goku, stop. Vegeta took a step back, shock etched across his face. Hess becoming the legendary Super Saiyan right here, right now. But above them, in a distant realm beyond mortal sight, Beerus leaned forward, eyes glowing with interest. It's happening, he murmured. I did not expect him to awaken so soon. We smiled. Things are getting very, very interesting. Back on Earth, Goku screamed, a golden roar tearing from his throat, half agony, half ascension, as the storm finally pushed to the surface, just shy of becoming unstoppable, just shy of becoming divine, just shy of becoming myth. The scream that tore out of Goku's chest did not sound entirely human. It was layered, his own voice, raw and breaking, and beneath it, something deeper, older, a roar that seemed to echo from the bones of extinct stars. Golden light swallowed him. His aura shot skyward in a spiraling column, shredding clouds, splitting the sky into spinning fragments of blue and white. The desert floor cratered beneath his feet, sand liquefying into glass as the pressure of his ki crushed it into molten sheets. Krillin was thrown backward. Gohan dropped to his knees, shielding his face. Tien and Yamcha dug their hands into the ground to keep from being flung away. Piccolo gritted his teeth, cape whipping violently. Goku. Vegeta could not speak. He had dreamed of the legendary power his whole life, chased whispers like a starving wolf. But nothing in those dreams had prepared him for what he was witnessing now. This wasn't mere transformation. It was emergence. The air around Goku bent like light near a black hole. His silhouette flickered in and out of focus, as if reality had trouble deciding what shape he should take. His hair spiked upward, shimmering with liquid gold that kept trying to ignite fully, then sputtering back toward shadow. His muscles tensed, trembled, expanded, then strained as if already at their limit. His eyes were gone, replaced by molten gold. Dad, Gohan cried, voice cracking. Goku heard him. Barely. The storm inside him howled with laughterless joy. Finally. It surged up his spine, pouring through his veins like wildfire. For a terrifying moment, Goku's consciousness slipped, the world around him dissolving into colors and noise. He saw everything in streaks of light and heat. Friends, foes, earth, sky. All of it drowned beneath a single blazing instinct. Destroy the threat. Destroy the threat. Destroy the threat. His hands rose of their own accord, fingers curling into claws toward the distant horizon where Android 20 fled. Golden flames clawed at the corners of his vision. He could wipe the androids out in a blink. He could melt mountains, boil oceans, break this planet without meaning to. He could. The storm wanted him to. Goku, Piccolo shouted, voice half command, half plea. Remember who you are. The words pierced the roaring haze. Who he was. Not a weapon, not a prophecy, not a king of ashes. A father, a friend, a fool who tried and failed and tried again. In the blinding gold, he saw Goen's face small, terrified, hopeful. He saw Chi-Chi's stubborn eyes, arms crossed as she scolded him about dinner and bruises. He saw Krillin's grin, Master Roshi's lazy wave. Bulma's fire, Piccolo standing between him and death more times than he deserved. The storm screamed in protest, but something else rose to meet it. His heart. No, Goku gasped, voice struggling through the cyclone. Not like this. The golden power clawed at his insides. Enraged, ancient, unused, being denied. Burn, break, ascend. I said. No. He forced his hands down. The pillar of light shuddered. For 1 second, it swelled, threatening to detonate outward and erase everything. Then, it imploded. The gold folded inward, collapsing back into him like a star pulled into itself. The blinding light shrank, spiraled, and sank into his bones. His hair flickered violently, strands flashing pure gold for a heartbeat, then fell back to black, though every tip gleamed faintly. The desert fell silent. The only sound was Goku's ragged breathing. His knees buckled. He collapsed. Gohan sprinted forward. Dad. Piccolo was faster, catching Goku before his body hit the scorched earth. His friend's skin was hot to the touch, as if had been standing at the center of a sun. Goku's eyes fluttered weakly, the gold fading back into dark. I held it back, he whispered, almost to himself. I did it. Piccolo stared at him. Barely. Vegeta looked away, jaw clenched so tightly it trembled. Idiot, you had it. You had the power to erase everything in your way, and you chose to cage it again. Goku managed a tired smile. Yeah, you're a fool. Maybe, Goku said softly, but am still me. Vegeta's aura flickered, rage and respect tearing at each other inside him. He wanted to scream at Goku. He wanted to hit him. He wanted to demand that he embrace the legend fully. But a part of him, the quiet part he never fed, was grateful Goku had not. Android 20 seconds, key signature, vanished into the distance. He would build more. He would birth Cell. The shadow of the next threat spread silently across time. But the fighters did not chase. They stood around Goku, watching as his chest rose and fell, as his aura settled into a dim, simmering glow. Not gone. Never gone. But quieter for now. Piccolo lifted Goku into his arms. We regroup, he said. We rethink. And you, he added, glancing down at his friend, learn to control that thing before it controls you. Goku didn't argue, because he felt it too, a presence inside him, awake now, no longer content to sleep. Far away, in the divine realm, Beerus watched the scene through Whis' staff, eyes narrowed. He suppressed it, Beerus said. He denied his own awakening. Whis tilted his head. That's unusual. Mortals normally chase this kind of power until it destroys them. Beerus grunted. Cowardice. Whis smiled slightly. Or wisdom. Beerus clicked his tongue. That power inside him doesn't care about wisdom, he said coldly. It's the old Saiyan curse, the Berserker spark. The legendary strain, it doesn't yield, it conquers. If he keeps suppressing it, it will only grow more frustrated. And when it finally breaks loose, Whis said softly, it may not let him come back. The god of destruction turned away from the vision. The distant stars beyond his temple gleamed softly, as if listening. How far away is that planet? Beerus asked. Earth, Whis replied. Hardly any distance at all, if we leave now. Beerus closed his eyes briefly, recalling the prophetic dream that had woken him many cycles ago. A warrior destined to challenge him. A mortal wrapped in gentle light and apocalyptic shadow. Prepare the staff, Beerus said. We're going to visit a troublesome Saiyan. Whis raised a brow. Is this about the Super Saiyan god you dreamt of? Beerus frowned. No, he said slowly. This is about something worse. He glanced once more into the staff, at the image of Goku unconscious, aura faintly shimmering with chained gold. A legendary mistake. Whis twirled the staff lightly, eyes amused, voice calm. As you wish, my lord. Space curled around them, light stretched. The gods began their descent toward a blue world spinning quietly in a corner of the cosmos, unaware that heaven itself was coming to judge a mortal who dared to negotiate with a legend. Night fell over Earth like a trembling exhale. The sky hung strangely quiet, as if the stars themselves sensed the imbalance in the world below. Lakes reflected in uneasy stillness. Forests rustled in wary whispers. Even the wind seemed to hesitate, skirting around Mount Paozu rather than brushing against its walls. Inside the small home, lit only by a single lantern, Goku sat alone. He wasn't meditating. He wasn't sleeping. He was listening to the heartbeat of the storm inside him. It pulsed in slow, ancient rhythms, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Each beat echoed against his bones like distant thunder. Each beat seemed to ask the same question. Why do you resist me? Goku dragged in a careful breath, hands trembling slightly in his lap. I'm not resisting you, he whispered into the dim room. I'm holding us together. The golden hum answered with a low growl that vibrated through his nerves. His skin prickled, every hair rising with static. For a moment, his vision tinted gold faint, like a sunrise, just beginning to peek over a dark horizon. He squeezed his eyes shut. I can't let you take over, he murmured. Not with the androids out there. Not with Gohan asleep down the hall. His pulse spiked. The presence inside him surged in response, eager, almost hungry. It didn't understand fear. It didn't understand restraint. It only understood escalation. As if on cue, the sound of small footsteps approached. Dad. Gohan stood in the doorway, blanket wrapped around his shoulders. Eyes sleepy but worried. You're still awake, Gohan said softly. Goku mustered a smile. Yeah, just thinking. Gohan stepped inside and sat beside him. Is it because of the fight today? Goku hesitated. Partly. And that feeling you had on Namek? Goku inhaled sharply. Gohan's voice stayed steady. I felt it too. He looked down at his hands, small fists resting on his knees. When you were fighting Frieza, Gohan whispered, I felt something inside you. Something huge. Like the whole planet was waiting for you to explode. Goku's heart tightened. And today, Gohan added quietly, when you started glowing again, I felt it get scared. Goku blinked. Scared? Gohan nodded. Not of you. Of losing you. The words cut deeper than any enemy's strike. Goku reached out and ruffled his son's hair gently. I won't be lost. Gohan leaned against him, small and warm. I believe you. Goku swallowed hard, because he wasn't sure he believed himself. The next morning, the world changed. Not by explosion, not by invasion, not by the androids, by silence. A sudden, cosmic hush fell across the earth so deep, so unnatural, it froze animals mid-step and caused the oceans to ripple without wind. Goku shot upright. His heart thundered. The storm inside him roared. A presence, immense, divine, suffocating, pushed against the edges of the atmosphere. The air grew denser, twisting. Clouds warped into spirals. Birds bolted from the sky in chaotic flocks. Gohan ran into the room. Dad, what's happening? Goku's blood ran cold. Something's coming. Piccolo felt it from miles away, standing atop the lookout. That key. No, not key. Something beyond key. Vegeta felt it while training in a mountain gorge. His eyes widened, breath catching in his throat. It can't be. Krillin nearly dropped the bowl he was holding at Kame House. Oh no, oh no. Goku, this doesn't feel human. Trunks sensed it and gripped his sword. That pressure. It's crushing reality itself. Then the sky cracked. Not literally, but in a way that made the air sound like breaking glass. A ripple of purple and black tore through the upper atmosphere. Through it stepped a figure. Tall, slender, violet fur shimmering like starlight. Eyes narrow and ancient. Lord Beerus, the god of destruction. He floated down with effortless grace, tail swaying lazily behind him. Reality bent subtly around him, like paper curling near a flame. Whis descended beside him, staff tapping delicately against the air as if it were solid crystal. Oh dear, Whis murmured with a polite smile. Such tension already. This planet certainly has a vibrant aura. Beerus ignored the scenery. His eyes locked immediately onto the brightest beacon of unstable power on Earth. Goku. Miles away, Goku froze, feeling that gaze strike him like lightning. Oh no, he whispered. Oh no, 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 Gohan looked panicked. Dad? Who is that? Goku's breath trembled in his chest. That, he said quietly, is a god. He stepped outside. Dust lifted around his feet. The golden storm inside him surged upward, reacting violently to the divine pressure descending from above. Beerus hovered above the treetops, ears twitching, eyes gleaming. He smiled faintly. So, Beerus purred, you're the mortal with the ancient key shaking holes in my universe. Goku's aura flickered with gold. He bowed deeply. No disrespect, Lord Beerus. But if you came here because of the power inside me, Beerus cut him off by raising a single finger. The air compressed violently. The earth groaned. Space itself tightened. I came, Beerus said, voice smooth and dangerous, to see whether you are a warrior. His eyes flashed. Or a mistake. Goku's pulse thundered. The storm inside him answered. In the language of ancient Saiyans, in a voice made of gold and wrath. Finally, a worthy opponent. Goku exhaled sharply, sweat beading on his brow. This was it. The moment destiny had been dragging him toward, the moment mortal and divine would meet, and decide which one broke first. The air between Goku and Beerus tightened until it felt like a living thing, dense, waiting, listening. Birds fled the treetops. Animals fell silent in the forests below. Even the wind dared not breathe. Whis hovered a short distance behind the god of destruction, smiling faintly, as if observing two children about to test the limits of their toys. But Goku felt none of that lightness. His heart hammered, his skin prickled. The storm inside him, the ancient golden pulse that had haunted him since childhood, surged the moment Beerus arrived. It recognized him, not as friend, not as foe, as obstacle, as prey. Goku closed his eyes for a brief moment, begging to steady his breath. Not now. Please, not now. But the storm whispered violently, clawing at his ribs. Fight him. Fight him. Fight him. Beerus floated down until he stood a few meters away, arms behind his back, head tilted curiously. His eyes scanned Goku's aura, as though reading the pages of a living book. You reek of inconsistency, Beerus said. Your energy is fractured. Your K is spiraling, not flowing. And something inside you, he narrowed his eyes, is trying to tear you apart. Goku swallowed. I'm working on that. Beerus twitched an ear. Work harder. Whis tapped his staff lightly. Now, Lord Beerus. You promised not to destroy the planet unless necessary. Beerus shrugged. Well, see. He stepped closer. Goku instinctively stepped back. Not out of fear, but because the storm within him lunged forward, nearly bursting from his chest, as if trying to meet Beerus head-on. Beerus raised a brow. Something the matter? No, Goku lied. Just keeping my distance. You think distance will save you? Beerus smirked. How cute. Goku's fists clenched involuntarily. Inside him, the legendary power surged, enraged by humiliation. Show him. Show him what you are. Goku grit his teeth. Quiet, he whispered under his breath. Beerus blinked. Pardon. Not you, Goku said quickly, just thinking out loud. Beerus sighed. Exasperated. Mortals. He lifted one hand. The air screamed. A simple gesture, a flick of a god's wrist, sent Goku flying through the trees, cracking through trunks and stone until he slammed into the ground hard enough to carve a crater. Gohan screamed. Piccolo's ki flared. Krillin and Tien raced toward the explosion of dust and shattered earth. Goku rose slowly, coughing, rubbing blood from his lip. That was pretty strong, he said, panting. Beerus chuckled. I barely tapped you. The storm inside Goku thrashed. Golden sparks flickered around his body. His hair lifted slightly. His pupils narrowed. Whis pointed gently, amused. Lord Beerus, he is destabilizing. Of course he is. Beerus' tail swayed lazily. I'm antagonizing him. Should you? Beerus grinned. Yes. He turned toward Goku again. Stand. Beerus said. We're not done. Goku stood. The storm exploded. His aura burst outward in a shockwave of gold that rippled through the forest, blasting trees sideways and throwing the Z-fighters back. His hair flashed gold, fully gold for half a heartbeat before collapsing back to black, leaving trails of molten light dripping from each strand. Goku's voice shook. Stop. Provoking it. Beerus tilted his head. It? How strange. I was speaking to you. Goku's breath hitched, because he realized something terrifying. Beerus wasn't worried about the storm inside him. Beerus was testing him, not the power, and Goku was failing. He was slipping, losing the mental battle, losing control. He forced his eyes shut. Don't do this. If I fully awaken right now, I know. Beerus interrupted calmly. That's why I'm here. Goku's eyes flew open. What? I want to see what you become, Beerus said. I want to know whether the mortal in my dream, the one who challenges me, is the golden beast you're wrestling with. He smiled darkly. Or the fool standing in front of me. The insult tore through Goku like a blade. And the storm responded. Before Goku could stop it, his aura erupted again, brighter, wilder, splitting the ground beneath him. The golden flare shot upward like a spear into the clouds. Vegeta, Piccolo, and Trunks shielded their eyes. Goku, Piccolo shouted, get a hold of yourself. Goku couldn't hear him. Everything became light, heat, pressure. The presence inside him roared, shaking his spine, demanding release. He clutched his head, dropping to his knees. No, no, no. Beerus watched with mild annoyance. If you can't control it, then you're not worth my time. Those words, not worth my time. The universe shifted. Something inside Goku snapped. Golden lightning exploded outward. His eyes snapped open, glowing like twin supernovas. His hair surged upward again, half of it turning gold, half crackling black. His teeth clenched so hard blood ran down his lip. Piccolo shouted again, desperation in his voice. Goku, fight it. Goku reached toward consciousness, fighting the pull, wanting to breathe, wanting to speak, wanting to stay himself. Beerus raised 2 fingers. The golden aura around Goku froze. Everything froze. Beerus flicked his fingers outward. Goku flew backward, as if shot from a cannon, slamming into a cliff and shaking the mountain. The golden aura shattered. The storm shrieked, furious, but now caged again, forcefully. Goku fell to the ground, gasping, vision spinning. The shock tethered him back to himself. His aura receded, smothered, smoldering inside him like a furious sun denied the sky. Beerus landed lightly on the ground. That was sloppy, Beerus said. Goku coughed, struggling to breathe. You're not here to fight. No, Beerus said simply. Then why provoke it? Goku panted, chest heaving. Beerus crouched so their eyes were level. To see whether you are a weapon waiting to break, Beerus murmured, voice low and dangerous, or a warrior capable of holding back destiny. Goku's breath stopped. And your answer? He whispered. Beerus straightened. You're not ready, he said bluntly. But you could be. Goku blinked. Could be. Beerus smirked. Train with me. The earth fell silent. Even the storm inside Goku stilled. You want me to train with a god of destruction, Goku whispered. Not want, Beerus corrected. Curiosity. Your existence annoys me. I want to see where it leads. Goku swallowed hard. His mind raced. His heart pounded. Beerus extended a hand. Golden sparks flickered beneath Goku's skin. His destiny waited. Goku stared at Beerus' outstretched hand. It hovered before him like an invitation and a warning, a bridge between life as he understood it and a future he feared to touch. Not because of Beerus, not because of gods or destruction or prophecy, but because the moment he reached out, the storm inside him shuddered with anticipation. Yes, take it, and ascend. Goku inhaled through the tightness in his chest. Why? He asked quietly. Why me? Beerus raised a brow, tail flicking lazily. If I understood mortals completely, it'd be bored. You, in particular, are an anomaly. You carry a power that should be extinct, and yet you resist it. It irritates me. Whis floated forward, smiling in that serene, timeless way. Lord Beerus means to say, Whis added gently, that your potential intrigues him. He is, how shall I put it, entertained. Beerus scowled. I did not say entertained. Whis ignored him. Goku's hand trembled, not with fear, with force. With the storm trembling beneath his skin like an animal sensing the approach of lightning. I don't know if I can control it, Goku admitted. Beerus shrugged. Then I will destroy you. Efficiently. Piccolo choked behind him. What? Beerus glanced over his shoulder. Bored. Oh, hush. It's a simple equation. Goku exhaled slowly. His vision wavered. He saw himself losing control, saw the world burning gold beneath his feet, saw the storm consuming everything he loved. But he also saw another path, a god, an immortal, standing across a battlefield made of stardust. A clash witnessed by galaxies. A legend stronger than anything that came before. If control existed, it existed there, in the hands of the only being who could challenge the beast inside him. Goku lifted his hand. The moment their palms met, the world vanished. It wasn't teleportation. It wasn't flight. It wasn't even movement. It was erasure. Earth dissolved into streaks of dim color. Gravity collapsed into a thin ribbon of sensation. Space peeled back like a curtain. All that remained was a corridor of light shaped by Whis' staff. Goku stumbled. Whis steadied him lightly. Do be careful. Mortal bodies don't always adapt well to divine travel. Goku blinked as the world reformed. A sky of shifting auroras. Mountains carved from crystallized twilight. Waterfalls that poured upward instead of down. A palace suspended in the heart of a nebula, glowing with soft, golden warmth. Beerus world. The home of a god. Beerus strode ahead, unconcerned with Goku's awe. Whis floated beside Goku, staff tapping rhythmically against the air. This realm responds to emotion, Whis explained. Your aura influences the environment, so try to remain calm. Goku glanced nervously at the ground. It flickered gold beneath his feet. Whis laughed softly. Yes, exactly like that. As they walked, the storm inside Goku reacted to the air itself. The very atoms were saturated with divinity. His aura prickled. His heartbeat grew heavy. His breath became thick, as if inhaling starlight. He doubled over, gasping. Beerus looked back, annoyed. Oh, stop that. Mortals always hyperventilate when they first arrive. Whis placed a gentle hand on Goku's back. Relax your mind, not your muscles. Goku tried. The storm hissed. The world shimmered around him, colors melting, shadows bending, light folding. Whis' voice cut through the haze. Remember what you told it. Goku forced himself to breathe. I decide who I become, he whispered. The storm growled but receded, curling around his spine like a sulking creature denied its meal. Beerus rolled his eyes. If you're done flirting with your inner demon, follow me. They reached a wide courtyard, floating above an endless expanse of shimmering violet. A training ground for gods. Goku stepped onto its polished stone. His aura tightened. The storm stirred eagerly. This world welcomed power, fed power, amplified power. He swallowed hard. Lord Beerus, Goku said quietly. Before we start, I need to know something. Beerus folded his arms. Speak. That power inside me. What is it? Really? Beerus studied him for a long, uncomfortable moment. You are not the first, Beerus said at last. Long ago before my time, there were Saiyans born with a mutation. An instinct. A hunger. They did not transform. They erupted. Their wrath was a natural disaster. Their existence destabilized worlds. Goku's blood chilled. They called them. Beerus flicked his wrist dismissively. It hardly matters. The name is unimportant. Goku's voice shook. Tell me, Beerus sighed. If it will stop your shivering, fine. He stared directly into Goku's eyes. They were called the Legendary Ones. The Berserk Saiyans. Warriors born with an ancient variant of Super Saiyan energy rooted in pure instinct. They were not trained. They were not guided. They were calamities. Goku felt his pulse drop. A cold hand wrapped around his heart. Beerus added, almost gently, which was worse, you are the first to survive adulthood with that spark intact. Goku's breath caught. And the first, Beerus continued, to resist it. We stepped forward, staff glowing softly, which means, Goku, you may be the first who can master it. The storm inside him shivered. Beerus smirked. And I want to see if that's true. He raised one hand. Purple ki flared at his fingertips. Hit me. The air trembled. Goku froze. Wah, what? Hit me, Beerus repeated. As you are now. No transformations. No holding back, that little monster. Show me the strength of a mortal walking on the edge of legend. Goku's heart roared. The storm roared louder. He lowered into his stance. Feet planted, hands trembling, aura flickering gold. Beerus' smile sharpened into something hungry. Show me, he repeated. Show me what a mortal can do. Goku lunged. The training of gods began. Goku launched himself at Beerus. The first step alone shattered the air beneath his feet, leaving a crater of compressed wind and twisted light. His aura flared around him, not yet golden, but sparking with hints of it like sunlight trying to pierce storm clouds. He threw a punch at Beerus' chest. Beerus tilted his head a fraction. The fist passed through where Beerus had been a flicker of a moment before, the god's body now hovering inches to the side. Goku barely registered the movement. It was too fast, too quiet. Like reality had simply decided Beerus should be elsewhere. The god sighed. Too slow. A finger tapped Goku's forehead. The impact sent him flying backward. Not violently, almost lazily. Yet, the shockwave from that tiny touch rippled through the courtyard, cracking the distant stone spires floating along the horizon. Goku flipped in the air, landing in a low skid. The storm inside him bristled. Unacceptable. Overpower him. Crush him. Not yet. Goku hissed under his breath. He charged again. This time, he didn't go straight. He twisted, vanishing and reappearing at different angles, testing, probing. Beerus moved through Goku's flurry of strikes like a shadow caught in firelight, always one breath out of reach, never using more effort than what was absolutely necessary. A kick aimed at the side of Beerus' head cut through empty air. A back fist grazed the god's cheek, only for Goku's wrist to be gently caught and redirected. "You're thinking too loudly," Beerus remarked. Goku grunted, pivoting, using the momentum to spin into an elbow strike. Beerus caught that too. Another soft tap, this time to the ribs. Goku's breath rushed out of him as he flew sideways, crashing against the courtyard's shimmering boundary. The energy wall rippled like a disturbed pond and threw him back toward the ground. He rolled, groaned, pushed himself up to his knees. The storm roared. "Let me take this. You're wasting time." Goku's fingers dug into the stone. "No." Beerus floated above him, watching with half-lidded eyes. "You're dragging your feet. If this is all you can do without that beast inside you, I'm already bored." Goku forced himself to stand. "The power inside me isn't yours to toy with," he said. "If I lose control, then you fail," Beerus said simply, "and I erase you." Whis drifted closer to the edge of the arena, eyes calm. "Goku, what Lord Beerus is asking you to do is not to unleash the power, but to approach it, to stand at its edge without falling in. Think of it as sitting beside a storm without being carried away by its winds." Goku shook his head. "Every time I get close, it tries to take over." "And do you let it?" Whis asked. Goku hesitated. "No." "Then keep choosing that," Whis said softly, "over and over, until your choices shape the storm more than it shapes you." The words sank into him. Beerus flicked his wrist impatiently. "Enough philosophy." Again. Goku drew a slow breath. This time, he did not rush forward immediately. He closed his eyes. Not to retreat, to listen. To the rhythm of the power now coiled around his heart. To the rolling thunder moving under his skin. To the way it always surged hardest when he felt insulted, cornered, enraged. "You're angry," Goku thought toward it. "You hate limits. You hate being caged." The storm answered with a hot wave of pure emotion, wrath, exhilaration, the savage joy of overwhelming everything in sight. "But you're also mine," he said. The gold flicker shuddered. He opened his eyes. The world sharpened the way it sometimes did right before his most decisive battles. Beerus' aura shone more clearly, like a purple flame burning atop an invisible candle. Tiny distortions in the air around him revealed the flow of his movements before he made them. Goku stepped forward, not exploding, not roaring, just moving clean, measured, precise. He let the storm rise, just a little. Enough to wrap around his senses, enough to thicken his aura, enough to sharpen his instincts. His ki brightened, not a pillar, not a blast. A subtle halo of gold-white tracing his silhouette. Beerus' ears twitched. "Oh?" Goku launched himself forward. Their collision this time rang across the realm like a struck bell. Goku's fist met Beerus' open palm, and for the first time, Beerus' arm bent. Goku followed with a knee toward Beerus' gut. The god twisted, but the strike grazed his side, skidding across his armor. Beerus' eyes narrowed. "That's better." Goku didn't answer. He flowed through his next movements faster than thought, punch, kick, feint, elbow, spin chasing Beerus' shifts in real time. The storm inside him fed his body with intuition, and his mind filtered it, choosing where to aim, where to hold back. His aura wasn't screaming, it was humming. The ground cracked beneath their feet, tiny explosions of light marking each contact. Golden sparks and violet streaks danced across the courtyard. Whis tilted his head, impressed. Hes beginning to stand beside it. Beerus parried another strike, then another, then another. His smirk faded, replaced by something rarer. Focus. He ducked under a kick, flicked Goku's chin with a finger, then spun away only for Goku to reappear above him, heel descending in an arc that made space around them groan. Beerus caught the heel with one hand. Goku met his eyes. For a heartbeat, neither moved. Then Goku's aura flared not wildly, but like a controlled burn. The gold brightened, wrapping his leg, his torso, his fists. He twisted. The pressure forced Beerus' arm down a fraction. Beerus smiled, not with mockery, with curiosity sharpened to a razor's edge. "There you are," he said. He released Goku's leg and brought his own hand forward slowly, deliberately, toward Goku's chest, 2 fingers extended. Goku saw it coming. For the first time, he read the intent before the motion fully unfolded. Instead of blocking, he relaxed his stance, letting the attack pass closer to his center. His body moved without panic, guided by something quieter than instinct, deeper than fear. The storm inside him leaned forward eagerly. He let it look. He did not let it choose. Beerus' fingers brushed his chest instead of piercing it. The impact still detonated his ki outward in a rush of heat and pressure, but Goku rode the force, spinning with it, landing in a low crouch instead of collapsing. He braced a palm against the ground. The stone under his hand cracked in a perfect ring. His aura dimmed, steady, simmering. Beerus lowered his hand. Whis' smile deepened. He adjusted without flinching. Yes, Beerus mused. He did. He started walking toward Goku, each footfall bending the air around him. Now, Beerus said quietly, eyes gleaming like a knife under moonlight, "Let's see if you can do the same thing when everything is on the line." Goku lifted his head. On the line. A shadow crossed Beerus' face. "Your universe," he said, "has a habit of attracting attention." He glanced up at the shifting skies of his realm. "Soon, the others will come to look at you. Gods. Angels. Worse." His gaze fell back to Goku. "When that happens, this partial control you found, it won't be enough." The storm inside Goku coiled. He swallowed. "What do I have to do?" he asked. Beerus smiled. "Learn to fight," he said, as both man and legend. His aura surged. Without letting either die, the courtyard shook. The true training began. The courtyard trembled, not from impact, but from intent. Beerus lowered into a loose stance, one hand behind his back, the other extended lazily toward Goku. He didn't radiate killing intent. He didn't need to. His very presence pressed against the world like the weight of a star draped in indifference. Goku steadied his breath. The storm inside him bristled, eager. Golden threads flickered under his skin. Whis floated to the edge of the arena, staff spinning softly. "Remember, Goku, balance is not silence. It is harmony. Let the power sing, but let you choose the melody." Goku nodded. Beerus vanished. A purple streak crossed Goku's vision, and then pain bloomed across his cheek, a shockwave ripping past him as he staggered. Beerus reappeared behind him, arms loose, tail swaying. Too slow. He struck again. Goku blocked barely. The force sent him skidding backward, his boots carving trenches in the stone. Sparks crackled around his wrists. The storm surged. "Use me! Use me! Use me!" "Not yet." Goku hissed through clenched teeth. He darted forward. Beerus met him effortlessly, 2 fingers parrying a full-force punch. Goku twisted, planting a kick into the god's side, but Beerus didn't budge. Instead, he rolled with the motion, flicking Goku across the courtyard like dust shaken from a coat. Goku crashed, rolled, rose again. The storm seethed. Each strike from Beerus awakened more of the beast inside him. Each near miss fed the hunger roaring in his ribs. Each taunting flick stoked a fire that wanted to swallow the sky. Beerus blurred again. Goku barely had time to brace before a palm struck his chest, sending him flying backward. He crossed his arms, blocking the shockwave, but his back slammed against the boundary wall, a shimmering veil of divine force. His vision rang, his ribs ached, his heartbeat roared. Above him, Beerus descended slowly. "You're clinging too tightly," Beerus said. "You fear the storm inside you. Your fear makes you weak." Goku forced himself upright. "I'm trying to control it." "No," Beerus corrected. "You're trying to deny it." The words pierced deeper than any strike. Goku's breath froze. Beerus landed in front of him, eyes narrowing. You think suppressing that power is noble? Foolish mortal. You think refusing a gift makes you righteous. It makes you wasteful. Goku flinched. I don't want to become a monster. Then train your heart, Beerus said coldly. He struck again. Goku blocked barely. Golden sparks exploded from the collision. His aura flared, wild and ragged. Beerus pressed. A jab, a kick, a palm strike, a tail sweep. Each one carried just enough force to shatter mountains. But Beerus held back, testing, sculpting, provoking. Goku dodged left. But the storm inside him lurched right, and his control faltered. For a split second, his aura burst into blinding gold. His hair flickered upward, not fully Super Saiyan, but something sharper, deeper, more feral. Beerus' ears twitched. There it is. Goku gritted his teeth and pushed it down. The gold sputtered. The storm screamed. Beerus' expression hardened. That hesitation, he said quietly, will get your universe killed. He appeared behind Goku. Before Goku could turn, a chop landed on his neck, not meant to harm, but to shock. Goku gasped as his senses exploded. He saw visions, glimpses of futures not yet written, gods watching him with wary eyes, forces from other universes drawn toward his awakening, enemies stronger than Frieza, then Cell, then Bu. And in every vision, he saw a golden silhouette standing alone, roaring as the sky shattered, a form too brilliant and too terrible to name. Beerus' voice cut through the vision. That is what you become, he said, if you do not learn balance. The visions dissolved. Goku collapsed to one knee, panting. His aura flickered violently. Gold, white, black, gold, like a flame caught in a storm. Whis drifted closer. Goku, remember what you saw inside the void. The storm does not understand love, or fear, or restraint. It only understands power. Goku squeezed his eyes shut. Beerus crouched in front of him, voice low. So teach it. Goku looked up, sweat dripping from his brow. How? He asked. How do I teach something that wants to tear everything apart? Beerus smirked. Simple. He extended a hand toward Goku. You fight until it listens. Goku froze, because the storm inside him, for the first time, paused. Not submission, not obedience. Attention, Beerus stood. Get up, Saiyan. Goku rose. His aura settled, simmering gold beneath his skin. The storm no longer thrashing, but waiting. Beerus cracked his knuckles. Round 2. Goku lowered into a stance. His pupils narrowed. His muscles steadied. His breath deepened. The storm whispered, Show me. Goku answered, I will. And he attacked. Not as a god, not as a beast, not as a legend, as a man. Goku launched forward. Not exploding, not this time, but flowing. His movements were sharp, precise, deliberate. His aura flickered gold, but in controlled pulses, like a heartbeat, learning a new rhythm. Beerus' eyes brightened. This wasn't frantic desperation. This wasn't the storm trying to break loose. This was Goku choosing the power, not drowning in it. He swung a right hook toward Beerus' jaw. Beerus caught it between two fingers. But instead of panicking, instead of letting the storm erupt in rebellion, Goku absorbed the counterforce, rolled with it, and twisted into a tight spiral, delivering a sweeping kick toward the god's temple. Beerus leaned aside, letting the kick graze past him. A strand of violet fur floated away, cut by the pressure alone. Beerus inhaled sharply. Oh, Goku didn't give him time to think. He dove forward again, fists moving in clean arcs that blended lightning with water, instinct with intention. Each strike came with a glow faint, gold-edged, but coherent. The storm watched, learning him, matching him, not fighting. Beerus swatted away a punch, but the impact crackled with more force than before. Goku's hand shook with the recoil, but he didn't lose balance. He pivoted and fired a controlled burst of ki, just a whisper of gold, enough to distort the air. Beerus slapped the blast aside. It exploded harmlessly in the sky. Better, Beerus said. Goku was sweating. Hard. His muscles burned, his bones vibrated. But for the first time since Namek, he wasn't afraid. Beerus blurred. A Godspeed movement. Goku barely saw it, just a ripple in the light. But somehow, some impossible, instinct-driven somehow, Goku twisted his torso, raising an elbow to block a palm strike, aimed directly at his sternum. The impact detonated a shockwave that rattled the entire realm. Floating islands cracked. Clouds split like torn silk. Waves of color rippled through the violet sky. Whis watched with quiet surprise. He is beginning to anticipate Lord Beerus, Whis murmured. That should be impossible for a mortal. Beerus felt it too. The change. That subtle shift where a mortal stops drowning in power and begins conversing with it. Goku pushed forward, this time willing a thread of the storm into his arm. Just one thread. No more. Gold spiraled around his bicep, cracking the air. He punched. Beerus blocked, just barely, and his wrist bent inward under the force. His eyes widened a fraction. Well now, Beerus murmured, tone sharpening, that is interesting. Goku exhaled, stepping back. His aura dimmed, then brightened by a hair. The storm rustled inside him like a great beast shifting its weight. Again, Goku said, breath steady. Beerus smirked. Gladly. They clashed. Fists met palms. Feet met forearms. Shockwaves rolled outward in concentric rings. Each movement was now a dialogue. Beerus pressed. Goku yielded, then pushed. Beerus struck. Goku redirected. The storm offered power. Goku accepted only what he could hold. Every second sharpened him. Every breath steadied him. Every strike taught the storm something new: restraint, form, purpose, choice. Beerus appeared behind him, aiming a chop at Goku's neck. Goku ducked under it. The storm tried to surge. Goku declined the surge, and instead used clean technique. A simple uppercut. Precise, controlled, human. It connected. Not hard, not deep, but solid. Beerus staggered half a step. Whis' eyebrows lifted. Goku's eyes widened. Did I? Beerus raised a hand, cutting him off. You touched me, Beerus said, voice low, calm, dangerous. Barely. Goku swallowed. Beerus lifted 2 fingers. Now endure. The god vanished. Goku had no time to brace. Beerus struck from above, a downward heel. Goku raised both forearms. The impact cratered the courtyard under him, but he stayed standing. Beerus appeared to his left, a palm strike. Goku tilted his torso, minimizing damage. The blow still ripped the air open, but he remained conscious. Beerus struck from behind, from the right, from below. Each movement faster than the last. Each one testing not Goku's strength, but his balance. The storm rose with every hit, howling to be unleashed. Goku held it by the throat, not forcing it down, but holding its gaze. We do this together, he whispered through clenched teeth. Not in fear, not in rage. In sync. The storm hesitated. Beerus appeared before him, final blow cocked back, eyes sharp with the thrill of challenge. Block this, Beerus said. Goku's aura brightened. A halo of gold shimmered around him, not erupting, aligning. Beerus' fist shot forward like the strike of a god. Goku moved before he could think. His hands rose. Golden lines traced his arms. The storm flowed into him, not bursting, not screaming, but guiding. His palms met Beerus' fist, and held. The world rang. A shockwave tore across the realm, flipping floating islands upside down, twisting auroras into spirals, sending distant stars flickering. Goku slid backward inches, but stayed standing. Beerus stared at him. Truly stared. He withdrew his fists slowly. A long silence followed. Then, impressive, Beerus said. Goku collapsed to one knee, gasping for breath, or a flickering. But the storm inside him, for the first time, curled around his heart and slept. Beerus turned to Whis. Hess close. Whis nodded softly. Yes. Very close. Goku lifted his head, sweat dripping, chest heaving. What? What now? Beerus crouched, eyes gleaming. Now, he said, you learn what your power is meant for. His tail flicked. Because a threat is coming. Goku's heart dropped. A threat. Stronger than you. Beerus' smile answered for him. And the storm inside Goku woke with a single pulse, hungry. The courtyard dimmed. Not from shadow, but from the weight of the words Beerus had spoken. A threat. Stronger than him. Goku's breath caught in his throat. He staggered to his feet, every muscle trembling from exhaustion, but his spirit lifting as if pulled toward destiny. Stronger than you? Goku asked quietly. Beerus' tail flicked once slow, deliberate. Stronger than me in ways that matter, not by raw power, but by what they represent. Whis twirled his staff lightly. You see, Goku, there are forces in the cosmos that do not simply destroy, but rewrite. Things that do not challenge you with fists, but with fate. With inevitability, with the laws that govern creation, Beerus' eyes narrowed into slits, and something like that is waking. The storm inside Goku gave a single, deep pulse, like a drum struck in a cavern older than stars. Yes. Something calls, Goku swallowed. What? What is it? Beerus turned away, gazing across the violet expanse of his realm. I don't know. Not yet. But I feel it pulling on the threads of destiny. The same threads tied around you. Whis added softly. The same threads that awoke your inner storm. Goku stared at his hands. At the faint gold glow running beneath the skin. At the gentle tremble that no longer felt like fear, but anticipation. Then I need to get stronger, he said. Beerus snorted. Obviously, Whis' eyes softened. Not stronger, Goku. Wiser. Beerus crossed his arms, floating lazily above the ground. Strength without balance is the flaw of every Saiyan. Your ancestors chased power until their minds snapped like twigs. You, he pointed a sharp finger at Goku, are the first to stand on the edge of the abyss and not dive in. Goku looked down, a faint smile tugging at his lips. I'm not doing it alone. Beerus tilted his head. Ah yes, your little storm. The golden presence inside Goku stirred, offended. Beerus smirked. I can feel it listening, snarling. It hates me. Goku rubbed the back of his neck. It, has strong opinions. Whis chuckled. As most ancient forces do, Goku closed his eyes. And for the first time, instead of fighting the storm, he approached it gently, like a teacher approaching a frightened child, like a warrior approaching a wounded beast, like a father approaching something he wished to guide. We're in this together, he told it silently. You're not my enemy. And, I'm not your cage. The storm hesitated. Golden embers floated through his mind's eye, searching him, testing him, questioning him. He breathed deep. If you want to fight, we fight for them, he thought. If you want strength, we chase real strength, not destruction. If you want to live, we live on our terms. The storm shuddered, anger melting, fury softening, wild instinct shifting into something like understanding. And then, it bowed. Not in submission. In acknowledgement, Goku opened his eyes, filled with quiet wonder. Beerus froze. Whis paused mid-spin of his staff. Even the realm's air held its breath. Goku's aura rose around him, soft, steady, golden, whole, not exploding, not cracking, not burning uncontrollably. Alive, awake, listening. The storm had found a shape, a rhythm, a heart. Beerus let out a low whistle. Well, that's new. Whis' eyes gleamed. He has done what none of his predecessors could. He made peace with it. Goku felt tears sting his eyes unexpectedly. Not from sadness, from relief, from release. Because for the first time since Namek, he didn't feel like he was drowning. For the first time in his life, he felt like his power truly belonged to him. Beerus floated down until he stood before Goku. You have taken your first step, Beerus said. That's all. Goku nodded. Yeah. Whis bowed his head gently. Even a god began with one step. Beerus lifted a hand. Goku tensed, but Beerus only placed 2 fingers against his forehead. Lightly. Do not disappoint me, Beerus said. The next time I call, you had better be ready for something far greater than a spar. Goku nodded. I will be. Beerus stepped back. Whis, take him home. Whis tapped his staff lightly on the ground. Light swallowed them. Colors inverted. Gravity vanished. Sound folded in on itself. Then, Earth. Goku found himself standing in front of his home, the sky warm, the wind soft. Birds rustled the treetops. The world felt smaller, but in a comforting way. Gohan ran out of the house. Dad. Goku caught him in a hug, lifting him into the air. Piccolo stepped from the shadows of a nearby tree. Well, you're alive. That's something. Goku laughed. Barely. Vegeta landed nearby with a grunt. So, did you surpass me? Goku rubbed the back of his neck. Not exactly. Vegeta clicked his tongue. Of course not. As expected. But beneath his scowl, there was something else. Relief. Hope. Goku set Gohan down and looked at the sky. Somewhere out there, a threat stirred. Something old. Something vast. Something that demanded the power he now carried. Beerus had shown him the path. Whis had taught him how to walk it. The storm inside him had chosen to trust him. He clenched his fist, golden sparks flickering gently along his knuckles. I don't know what's coming, Goku whispered to himself, but it'll be ready. His aura shimmered, not violently, not chaotically, but like a rising dawn. And the stars above seemed to burn just a little brighter, as if remembering his will.